is going to ruin For Fun's fun.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. So Whoopi in this matchup, what a lot of jungles like to do is they like to put pressure onto the enhancement shaman and then also attack Whoopi. Once he gets away, they put him into a trap and just consistently either attack Whoopi or crowd control, making it very difficult for him to rotate through defensives efficiently.
Yeah, that's one thing that we'll be definitely looking for as we see Cyfoxy opening up over onto Rosita Jones in this situation. We've seen this matchup play out quite a few times here. The Turbo versus the jungle. Kaska, though, on the Shaman will provide a little bit of longevity to the matchup. Of course, a better mana pool than the Discipline Priest. Incap over onto him, though breaks very early on. That should enable him to stabilize his team. Trades out the Healing Tide Totem, though, at an early stage. So a good force out there from For Fun, who honestly have got the better of this opening exchange.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say as Dilly drops into execute range, forced into the aspect of the turtle. Cyfoxy falling behind as well. Kaska really struggling to heal through this pressure. Way the crane from Whoopi. For Fun, they're really pushing the pace. Kaska finally getting some heals off onto his team, but that's a very dangerous moment for Kaska's Angels.
You know how we say every single Restoration Shaman has like a bottomless pit of mana? Kaska, 1 minute into this game, has already expended 50% of his mana pool, so that's a very interesting thing to see. Maybe he's playing a slightly more offensive spec, but honestly, I just think he's had to spam heal throughout the pressure of this Turbocleave in the early game. There's been a lot of stacking from Dilly and Cyfoxy. They've been tanking a lot of damage. Now they're looking to put out a lot of damage as Whoopi dropping low here. Incarnation committed. Good defensive fear, though, should keep him alive for now.
Whoopi used everything. He used Dampen Harm, he used Fortifying Elixir, he used his bubble. This is what I'm talking about. You pressure down Whoopi, then once he gets away, once he tops himself, you trap him. Rosita Jones now under fire, and you get a lot of pressure rolling on a Mistweaver Monk this way. Way of the Crane, thankfully up. Cyfoxy taking quite a bit of burst. Leg sweep coming in from Whoopi, looking to close out this game. No crowd control on Kaska, but like you said, Adrian, he's burning through his mana quickly.
He is burning through it quickly, and I mean, one of the other reasons you have to keep doing these swaps over to the Mistweaver is because their healing throughput when they're allowed to free cast channel those soothing mists is some of the highest in the game. But if they can keep pressuring him, keep forcing his mobility so he's not channeling that, they can definitely get the win here. Beautiful Ring of Peace coming out there, denying the Spiritling, and Cyfoxy will just go down as a result of that. That was probably the most one-sided Turbo versus jungle match we've seen.
Good for the Mistweaver Monk to kite away, get away from the jungle, use his portal, his Transcendence quite effectively. So we'll have to see what they have in mind moving forward.
Yeah, it's very interesting because Kaska, obviously in the last game, he was very low on mana earlier in the game, so they don't really even have that going for them. Mistweavers don't have too bad mana. The only thing I could think is if they're going to adopt some sort of kind of splitting strategy, so they get Cleave less by the Turbo and play that long game, but I don't really see it from jungle Cleave. It's not a strategy that typically works out, and they're getting pumped right through this Earthen Shield.
Yeah, he gets leg sweep out of the Earthen Shield totem. Nicely done by Whoopi. Can Dilly survive a little bit longer? He uses the Exhilaration, trying to kite away, still has the aspect of the turtle. Kaska spamming out the healing surges to keep him alive. That was a very nice play coming in from Whoopi, forcing out tons of defensives.
One of the things I like about Whoopi's build is actually also running the Dampen Harm here, so he's got that extra cooldown to reduce incoming damage on himself, I think by about 20% or 20 to 50%.
What
and at the same time as I'm saying that, For Fun just kill instantly. Like, this is
potentially trying to bait the play. Are they trying to bait what makes this map so strong for the Monk? Are they going to go hunting for that, or will we see For Fun able to take this 3-0? Supatees, if you were here, you could say the line, but you're not, so we're just going to jump straight into the action.
And, I mean, this could potentially be the final time we see Kaska's Angels in the entirety of 2019. This might be the final time we ever see this roster. Dill, of course, was talking a little bit about whether he's going to continue competing or go on to other things next year. That's something that we'll all be watching, of course, being one of the best hunters. Now, we have to watch this Turbo tunneling down the Discipline Priest of Milkman, starting out with a great triple fear out of the triple stun to force the trinkets. This is already a fantastic start for Fun.
Yeah, Milkman just getting run down right now by For Fun. Milkman's absolutely not having any fun. Pain Suppression gets used. He's in execute range. Can they finish this off? Rapture's the last thing keeping Milkman alive as he spams out the Power Word shields. Whoopi trying to shut that down with a nice Incapacitate. Milkman manages to survive, but for how much longer?
Yeah, Master's Call was the only thing keeping Milkman alive there, but I'm not sure there's a Master in this world that can keep this Discipline Priest alive. Unrelenting pressure from the Turbocleave. They're turbocharging this Disciplined Priest, but he did survive the cooldowns. We see Way of the Crane up in about 15 seconds for Whippy. That's easily going to be the game when he reconnects.
Adrian, ladies and gentlemen, Milkman has no mana left somehow. 20 seconds into the game, completely tapped on mana. Omnivore and Rosita Jones looking to run him down, and there is nothing that will save that, Milkman. 4Fun closes out the series with a clean sweep.
Whoop! Game 1, Method Orange against the Gosu Crew.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've settled it out in Europe. XRB to the Moon have taken first place. In North America, we still have a score to settle between these two teams. If Method Orange can manage to secure first and the Gosu Crew only finish in third, Method Orange will advance to Blizzcon as the #1 North American team. They've got 4Fun sitting in the lower bracket waiting for them. Method Orange have completely changed their composition from the previous week, now bringing in that Turbocleave.
Yeah, we actually saw the Rejects run this exact same composition, and the Gosu Crew completely dismantled them. Method Orange will have to see if they are up for the challenge. Obviously, they feel like this composition's strong. Sea-Doo's going to be playing very far back, not allowing Peekaboo to easily attack him. He gets caught into the full hex. Samurai needs to decurse that. Immediately does out of the kidney shot. Nicely done. Now pressure him onto Peekaboo.
I think in this matchup, the one significant way to get through a Holy Paladin is attacking him or switching to him when Blessing of Sacrifice has been activated. You cut their defensive cooldowns in half when you attack them, and you can remove the Blessing of Protections with Purge. To start the game off, the Gosu Crew are focusing down Sam IM. They may look for that opportunity moving forward, as Sea-Doo has used that Gladiator's Medallion. He won't be able to use that to get out of a nice fake cast by Sea-Doo. Peekaboo went for a Shadow Step kick. Sea-Doo faked him out. Now he's crossing the map to get aggressive. Abstract tries to ground the Hammer of Justice. Sea-Doo baits the grounding, lands the hammer, and WMChi gets chopped. That was off the back of sick plays from Sea-Doo, faking Peekaboo out.
Here then.
Yep, they definitely are. The gates are about to open. We'll have to see what the Gosu Crew does as a response. Are they going to change up their target? I feel like with the way Method Orange is playing and positioning, it's difficult for them to get a lot of pressure on Sea-Doo. It's easy for Sam IM and Mez to defend.
Sam IM stayed on his mount while Sea-Doo was sapped so that they couldn't connect. They do manage to follow up with more crowd control, however. Mez tries to break it up with a well-placed disarm. Will that be enough? Silence on Sea-Doo. Sam IM activating that stone form, removing all the dots, trying to recover. That's a really efficient trade from Method Orange early on. They now have defensives to push for aggressively, and Abstract has already blown through his Gladiator's Medallion. He could have activated that in the last game to connect Spearling Totem. Now he doesn't have that option, and Method Orange have shown that they can do lots of damage. The Gosu Crew could be in trouble.
Yeah, they're keeping pressure on both WMChi and Peekaboo, making it difficult for Abstract. He really has to decide who he wants to keep his Earth Shield on. I think that's important for Method Orange. They showed in the last game that they can take down WMChi, and by interrupting him, they're really going to be limiting the amount of damage he can put out on that Shadow Priest.
All right, Peekaboo the target, but Sea-Doo is silenced. Both teams under pressure in this position. Feint has faded, tons of damage following through. Peekaboo trying to hold on to cooldowns, play for a longer match, manages to get away with it. Smoke bomb attempt on Sam IM. They're looking to bait Sam IM's trinket. Doesn't even need to, he sits through that quite comfortably. Sea-Doo is doing a good job so far to keep his team stable. Nice Tremor Totem on that Psychic Scream. Sam IM on point on this enhancement Shaman. Method Orange have definitely stepped up their play from last week. It's going to be trouble for the Gosu Crew.
Yeah, Mez had a really beautifully timed disarm on Peekaboo in that smoke bomb, making sure if Sea-Doo couldn't heal him, at least he could help out with limiting some of the damage Peekaboo really had available. Kidney shot now on Sam IM with a full hex on Sea-Doo. Nice plays coming in from the Gosu Crew as Sam IM gets lower and lower. Astral Shift gets used, but Sam IM is playing with fire. Sea-Doo gets out of the crowd control, throws out the ultimate sacrifice to keep him alive, and now Method Orange, they want to get aggressive on WMChi.
They got 25 seconds to get a kill. Sea-Doo burned, I believe, the last Blessing of Sacrifice and Astral Shift in that attempt. So with Abstract having no Gladiator's Medallion on 18 seconds, they can stun him, stun Peekaboo at the same time, and they can burst down Peekaboo. That's how Method Orange are going to play this next couple of seconds. Sea-Doo moves over. He's looking for a Hammer of Justice, I can imagine soon. They actually go for a double stun behind the pillar on Peekaboo. It was a curious attempt there. I guess they didn't want to overextend, realizing how vulnerable they are. They could easily pull Divine Shield from this attempt. WMChi's moving over, looking for that Psychic Scream. Sam IM has Tremor Totem available. WMChi just waddling. He goes for the Quaking Palm to hold Sea-Doo in place. They have to kill that Tremor Totem. They're waiting to see if Samayam uses it preemptively. He's not falling for that. He's waiting until the Psychic Scream lands, but now they're not going to get it. Sea-Doo repositions to avoid it. Mez, in the meantime, setting up crowd control. Good cross crowd control with Stormbolt, but Peekaboo read the situation, activated Feint right before getting stunned, reducing a lot of that damage incoming onto him. Now the Gosu's turn to attack.
Sea-Doo actually decided to use his Blessing of Protection on the blind instead of his Trinket, so he's still going to have that available outside of blind. Peekaboo taking quite a bit of damage. Nice Wind Shear onto Absurge. Earthen Shield Totem gets dropped down. Peekaboo, as long as he stands in that, it's going to make him very durable. It's very hard for anyone to kill through that cooldown, so Peekaboo will be fine, but counter-pressuring Samayam in the meantime with a nice kidney shot. Sea-Doo into the full hex. This cross CC is really important. If Samayam is in a stun or he's in a silence, he won't be able to dispel the hex that Sea-Doo's in. And as a result, Samayam is forced to use his Astral Shift.
Yeah, he is forced to trade out of the defensive. The Gosu Crew working well as a unit, aggressively. Bit of a mishap in game one to go down with all of your cooldowns effectively available. So the Gosu Crew are obviously not looking to make that blunder here on game number 2. It's going to be much more difficult for Method Orange to push them over the edge. If we look at the situation, what can the Gosu Crew do to end the game? Well, we're going to have to look at Method Orange, and what they can do is they initiate a double stun, and they switch their attention to WMChi. Absurge smartly is positioning 40 yards away from WMChi. Why is he doing that? He can get out of range of Samayam's Wind Shear, which can interrupt his incoming heals. Absurge will always be repositioning away from Samayam as much as possible to avoid that. Sea-Doo pushing forward, the Avenging Crusader, boosting his damage, and also that damage heals your team. So he's looking to get aggressive, but the Gosu Crew defused the situation, spamming Mind Control on Samayam, stunning Mez up, and effectively, this Avenging Crusader not getting too much done. Method Orange double stun combo into a Hex. Good crowd control chain here from Method Orange. They bank an evasion off the back of that well-timed crowd control, meaning that Peekaboo is more vulnerable.
Yeah, Peekaboo on the Assassination Rogue is going to struggle in this matchup going against the Holy Paladin. Sea-Doo offers a lot of dispels, especially poison dispels for his team, and the more poisons Peekaboo has up, the more energy regeneration he gets. So Sea-Doo, by dispelling all those poisons, really limits Peekaboo's damage in this matchup as well. The Blessing of Protections are very effective against that powerful Vendetta cooldown that Peekaboo has, and that's really why Method Orange opted to use the Holy Paladin in this matchup.
All right, Peekaboo getting disarmed as Sea-Doo actually gets swapped to. I think the Gosu Crew can definitely do a better job of pressuring Sea-Doo. That's the weak point of the Paladin, but in the meantime, Method Orange are trying to get aggressive. WMChi diffuses that situation. Really good teamwork by WMChi. Could have been a scary moment for Peekaboo not having evasion. Peekaboo's actually just running down Sea-Doo. I think he is the best target in this matchup. It's a bit risky because you overextend. Sea-Doo, as smartly as he's doing here, is repositioning away from Absurge. So if Peekaboo wants to attack him, he line of sights his healer, and if you line of sight your healer too long, you're probably going to go down. So this is a risky target to go after Sea-Doo, but it's a much higher probability that you're going to kill him earlier in the game than anybody else on the team. Peekaboo goes for the kidney shot. Absurge needs to reposition and get ready for him. Double stun. He pre-earthen walled. Nice read by Absurge. That's going to allow Peekaboo to absorb all these incoming massive hits and not really take too much damage. Sea-Doo's in a bit of a dire situation right now. Peekaboo can stay on target.
Yeah, Sea-Doo could be in some trouble. Samayam and Mez looking to protect all over Peekaboo, really denying his uptime. There's a kidney shot on Mez. WMChi coming in with some damage too. There's the smoke bomb. Mez could be in a little trouble. Trades out the die by the sword to keep himself alive. Nice hex snuck in there by Absurge. Crowd control really nicely done by Gosu Crew in this matchup.
Yeah, Mez trinket die by the sword, the smoke bomb. Peekaboo didn't use Vendetta. Vendetta's a pretty powerful cooldown, so now Peekaboo has that opening. Mez is the most vulnerable target on the team, but they still need to get crowd control on Sea-Doo and apply pressure on multiple targets. We can see good crowd control chain here by the Gosu Crew, but no damage just committed. Oh, Blessing and Protection to remove the Vendetta. Nice play by Sea-Doo. Now he can reverse the pressure with his Avenging Crusader. It's all three members of Method Orange just beating down Peekaboo. If the double stun gets in here soon, it could be curtains. Absurge pre-earthen walls. Method Orange don't fall for that. They're still holding on to their stuns. After that earthen wall totem fades, it can be devastating amounts of damage for the Gosu Crew.
Yeah, WMChi had a really nice mind control on Samayam, and unfortunately when WMChi gets that mind control on Sam, they really don't have a way to stop it. Absurge into the full fear, Peekaboo into the Hodge. Nice setup attempt by Method Orange. Silence on Sea-Doo though, trying to slow him down a little bit. Peekaboo Shadow Step kicks Sea-Doo, actually getting an immense amount of pressure in the situation. We're at 15% dampening. Sea-Doo needs to hold on for a little bit longer. He needs to stabilize. Garrote kidney shot. Mez there to defend with the disarm on Peekaboo, but WMChi charges in looking for a fear.
I really like this from the Gosu Crew, keeping pressure on multiple targets. Great crowd control. Sidu holding on by a thread. He's trying his best. He managed to avoid the Mass Dispel. WizK, any other Paladin in that position would have Divine Shield into WizK's pre-Mass Dispel. Sidu saw Mass Dispel coming, waited. It was really risky. He could have died at that moment, but he knew if he got it Mass Dispelled instantly, he was dead anyway. So he held on to it for 1 extra second and was managed to make a getaway, but he's still under fire. Peekaboo finally being counter-pressured away, and this is the risk you make trying to take out Sidu, is that his buddies are going to back him up and force you away. Peekaboo can't stay on him forever, and at this point, both Peekaboo and Sidu are running out of time.
I feel like Sidu is going to be very scared here. That was a nice play. WizK charged into Sidu, got a silence on him. Peekaboo used the Shadow Step on WizK to connect the target. Another setup coming in from Gosu Crew, blind on Sidu, no trinket available. Used 1 Blessing of Protection left, and he certainly wants to save it for himself if he can. Silence on Sidu, can use the ultimate sacrifice, but decides to dispels Mez's dots. It's going to be really limiting the damage that the Gosu Crew has, so nicely done there. Peekaboo once again having to run away, not a single defensive left. Absurge pops some defensive cooldowns. The Ascendants trying to get some empowered healing on a Peekaboo Stormbolt as well. Absurge manages to keep Peekaboo alive, but he looks to get aggressive on a Sidu.
Very surprised. There's the Blessing of Protection. Absurge in position to purge it, but Avenging Crusader boosts Sidu's healing. He gets Psychic Screamed on it. Great counterplay, just constantly back and forth, but Peekaboo is the one that's ultimately behind. No Gladiator's Medallion on Absurge. He's stuck in this crowd control. Peekaboo in a 3-on-2. WizK needs to support him. Great Hex. WizK grips Peekaboo to safety. He's on the run, but Absurge is still hexed up. Peekaboo gets Stormbolted. No trinket for him. Absurge needs a ton of healing. He needs it now. Drops that Earthen Wall. Peekaboo stays alive. The Gosu Crew managed to weigh the odds. They play it greedy, but they get away with it. Now they are ahead.
Yeah, and Absurge still has his Spirit Link, very important defensive. Able to equalize his team's HP at any point in this game and keep Peekaboo alive. The only thing is, he doesn't have a trinket, so Method Orange, if they want to get that kill, they need CC on Absurge. Peekaboo overextending just a little bit though, trying to vanish out. Life Swap comes in from WizK, keeping Peekaboo alive. He disperses, he's not messing around, doesn't want to get swapped to by Mez and Samayam.
It's all or nothing. They need to take Sidu out in probably the next minute, or it's going to be curtains for the Gosu Crew. Can Sidu keep it up? He doesn't have a lot to work with. He needs Mez and Samayam to back him up. He's got the backup. Peekaboo's on the run. He's forced away. He can't stay on target. Mez is just chopping him up. There's the Hammer of Justice. No Gladiator's Medallion. Peekaboo's got evasion. He trades it at dangerously low health. Look at Dampening. We're at 32% healing reduction. Almost completely tapped on mana. Mez pre-died by the swords. The Smoke Bomb decides to trinket anyway. Wants to remain as stable as possible. Sidu breaks out of the blind, but it's a Hex. They snuck in a Hex. Well played by Samayam. WizK, though, reverses it with a Psychic Scream. Both Mez and Peekaboo at the lowest possible point in this match. There she's pre-Spirit Links the intimidating. Mez Peekaboo's at 10%. 10% health. He's going to be able to live. He's hanging on Earthen Wall from Absurge. Holds on.
Oh my God.
That was unbelievable.
What on earth? This bracket reveal will happen after the grand finals of this tournament. Stay tuned for that. But we're into Game 3 of Method Orange versus the Gosu Crew.
I really can't wait to see that Blizzcon bracket at the end of the tournament, to see who's squaring off in the first rounds of opening weeks. Just a few weeks away from now, we can see Peekaboo leading the charge, popping that Vendetta very early on. Sidu opts to counteract that with his Blessing of Protection, which basically removes Vendetta from the game during that period of time. Quite an efficient trade. Now Sidu getting aggressive. He's got Hammer Time up. He's ready to do a ton of damage. Absurge deflects. Earthen Wall Totem going to be soaking up all that extra damage. Sidu forced to run away.
Yeah, Peekaboo trying to line of sight, looking for re-stealth. Unfortunately not able to find it. There's a full fear on Absurge. Peekaboo under fire. Nice Hammer of Justice. That's very nicely done. If they can get a fear onto Absurge or a Stormbolt onto Absurge, then they can really utilize that Hammer of Justice as an offensive stun. Method Orange taking a little bit of pressure here. Sidu caught into the silence. Mez getting low as well. You can see he's actually using the Zalzak's Veiled Eye. So Mez realizing he's a target. He doesn't want to mess around, opting for some more defensive trinkets.
I will say that the Gosu Crew are playing a lot faster than we saw them play. They're just going for the plays rather than waiting for a window, and it's forcing Sidu to burn through his cooldown arsenal, which I think is a smarter way of playing against a Holy Paladin, because you can just burn all their cooldowns, they have no options, and they die, making those trades that would otherwise be efficient. So as long as Peekaboo is just going for vendettas, gets a Blessing Protection, does it again, gets another one. Guess what? Doesn't have one on the third one. So I think it's a much wiser decision from Peekaboo to just play a bit quicker, even though the cooldown trades aren't in his favor. We can see that double stun combo here by Method Orange. Peekaboo, primary target, down at half. Absturge drops that Earthen Wall Totem, protecting Peekaboo. Now it's Peekaboo's turn to attack. Nice fake cast by Sea-Doo on the Shadow Step kick. Peekaboo was really trying to set up a flashy play there, and Sea-Doo completely shut him down.
Yeah, Mez going to be completely fine as he slowly walks out of that smoke bomb, and Gosu Crew really not accomplishing anything there. Sea-Doo out of line of sight once again. He's already used the stone form, so it isn't going to have that racial available. There's a kidney shot over onto Sea-Doo as well. A little bit of damage onto him, but I think he should be fine. There's a nice follow-up silence. A sap on Sam-I-Am. Very nicely done. Triple fear. Sea-Doo could be in a little trouble. Uses his Divine Protection. That should be enough damage reduction to survive. Peekaboo now taking a little bit of damage from Sam-I-Am and Mez. Hammer of Justice goes out. Fear on Absturge. Absturge's off to Trinket out of that, keeping Peekaboo alive.
Yeah, he trades Trinket with Mez's Avatar, but Peekaboo's still just gunning those Vendetta. Another Blessing of Protection from Sea-Doo. Trades efficiently, but they actually managed to remove it, so Peekaboo's going to try and stay on target. Sam-I-Am's trying to back Sea-Doo up and force Peekaboo away. He's managed to do so. Sea-Doo, he survives another trade, but next Vendetta, that's a Divine Shield. Next Vendetta, you're dead. So the Gosu Crew, that's their clear win condition. Constantly switch to Sea-Doo. It's up to Method Orange to find a kill before that point. Now the Gosu Crew mixing it up in the meantime, swapping over to Mez, trying to force more cooldowns out from him, but not really finding it. Peekaboo caught in Stormbolt, Earthen Wall Totem placed. He's going to survive. They get Sea-Doo's Trinket with Blind. Now he doesn't even have Trinket to deal with the next kidney shot Vendetta. Sea-Doo, his team looks like they're in a dominant position in terms of the health bars, but he's burned through most of his options to deal with Peekaboo. And moving forward, it's not going to get better for him. Method Orange need to start playing to win, or I think this is going to be the Gosu Crew's game.
Yeah, as a Holy Paladin, especially when you're making those trades so preemptively, things can spiral out of control very quickly. Nice CC out onto Sea-Doo. He gets caught into the fear. Mez leaps away, trying to defend a little bit. Doesn't want WizK to get any follow-up. Sea-Doo easily able to heal him up with a nice Holy Light, but he gets silenced on it. Mez could still be in a little trouble. I think he's going to be fine. Sam-I-Am backing him up with some off-heals. Also lands a nice Hex on Absturge. Hammer of Justice now secured with a Stormbolt on Peekaboo. Nice setup coming in from Method Orange, but Peekaboo actually deflects it quite easily with the feint, reducing the incoming damage onto him.
Yeah, WizK life gripping Peekaboo to safety during that stun lock, and really, Method Orange were hoping for more cooldowns than Life Grip. That just means that the timer is ticking. Peekaboo's Vendetta up in 20. Sea-Doo only has Divine Shield to trade for that, and if he has to trade it before that point, he's got nothing. If the Gosu Crew can ramp up their pressure, they've been bouncing between Mez and Sea-Doo, which then means he has to kind of predict during the downtime and use cooldowns that he otherwise would like to save. But Vendetta's now 8 seconds away. Peekaboo just needs to set that up as soon as possible. Shadow Step, Kidney Shot, Hex Sam-I-Am, or Psychic Scream-Am. They've got a clear path to victory if they can mass dispel the Divine Shield during that next swap. Method Orange have no pressure right now. Peekaboo could just trade evasion and go in. He's got that Vendetta. They Hex. They go for the cross crowd control. This is going to be Divine Shield, I think. He's trying to hold on to it as Mez backs him up with a disarm. Sea-Doo is still silenced. Now cap totemed. Sam-I-Am's out of crowd control. He's going to support, and Sea-Doo survives, holding on to his precious Divine Shield.
That was very nicely done by Mez, immediately disarming Peekaboo on that setup, buying Sea-Doo enough time to use that Stone Form Racial to remove all those pesky bleeds and poison effects from Peekaboo. Now Sea-Doo into the full blind. He has no way out of it. Mez could be in some trouble. Might have to trade off the die by the sword as he looks to kite away, gets the full fear onto Absurge. Mez charges in once again. There's a sap on Sea-Doo, still no way out of it. Double fear coming in from WizK. Mez all alone, but he gets topped off instantly by Sea-Doo the second he gets out of that crowd control with that Avenging Wrath.
Okay, the Gosu Crew were pretty close to getting a clear win condition, but because of that awesome play and the last attack by Method Orange, Sea-Doo has another Blessing of Protection and Divine Shield to work with. So cooldown-wise, they've evened the odds, and we've just stepped foot into Dampening, so either team can still take it at this point. Absturge pre-earthen walling. Now that is going to be fading right as he gets hexed. He wasn't able to ground that. That hex could be devastating if they can force a Gladiator's Medallion with it, but it doesn't look like they've got the damage. WizK shuts them down with some well-placed mind controls.
Kitty shot on Mez. Gosu Crew still trying to find some damage on the Mez. He was the kill target in the last game, keep in mind. So although they're putting a lot of pressure on Sea-Doo, I think it's likely they're just trying to burn through those cooldowns. Silence on Sea-Doo, Hex on Sam-I-Am. Mez all alone by himself, trying to survive. Not trading out the die by the sword. Sea-Doo gets out of the CC, trying to throw some heals out, but a nice mind control from WizK going to deny.
Sam-I-Am purging that off, but then Peekaboo swaps over to Sea-Doo, out of line of sight. trying to duck away from Mez. He doesn't want to get bursted down, so he's pulling away. Now he uses Quaking Palm. That removes all the dots. Then they Psychic Scream him. That was a nice play by the Gosu Crew, but Samayam traded his Gladiator's Medallion to Tremor that Psychic Scream, realizing it could be a vulnerable situation, and they haven't really focused him. He uses his Gladiator's Medallion to support the team rather than support himself, but now he's open to a Smoke Bomb. Unfortunately, they actually just go for the Smoke Bomb anyway on Mez. Sidu's right next to him, and that's going to be a very low-value Smoke Bomb. I would have liked to see a bit more patience there by the Gosu Crew.
Yeah, they got Ultimate Sacrifice and the Dive of the Sword from Mez, though, in those last two setups. There's a Hammer of Justice onto Absurge. Peekaboo gets life gripped away on that Stormbolt. Now WizKi, once again, he's just spamming the Mind Controls. Mind Control is so effective as a Shadow Priest against this composition. If you can land it onto Samayam, no one can really stop you. Mez, he'd have to walk across the map in order to land that pummel, so it's a very effective way that the Gosu Crew is shutting down some of the damage coming in from Method Orange during their setups.
Yeah, both Shamans just trying to hex each other the whole game, and it's really a mind game between the two of them, getting through that wind shear. We can see WizKi actually getting targeted down a bit here. He's hovering about 50%, but he's going to restabilize. And now the Gosu Crew launch an attack with cross crowd control. It's a 3-on-1 versus Mez. If we look at Method Orange in their current condition, no Gladiator medallions. They can't break out of crowd control. That could be devastating. This is why I wish Peekaboo saved his Smoke Bomb, because if you don't have Gladiator medallion, you can't use it and get out of the bomb and get next to your healer. So, but that threat's not there because Peekaboo is a bit over-eager in the setup earlier, which leaves Method Orange a little more open to try and get a kill. Sidu getting stunned up, trades that wall, but they've got good pressure on Mez as well. Samayam looking for hexes, trying to squeeze that in, not able to find it, unfortunately. Pressure mounting on both sides, and I mean, we could see a repeat where Mez and Peekaboo die at the same time. They're both hovering at 20%, Ben.
Yeah, stun on Absurge. Peekaboo trades out every defensive he has. No evasion, no vanish, no nothing. Shadow Step kick onto Sidu. He's not going to be able to pick up Mez's HP just yet. Venging Wrath still on 35-second timer. Full kidney shot onto Sidu. The Gosu Crew looking to close out this game. Divine Shield still available. If they can pull that out here, it's going to be huge. Nice fear from WizKi onto Samayam. He's not able to support, and this is the kind of rot pressure we see from Gosu Crew time and time again. They like to get on two targets, making sure the healer from Method Orange, they really have to second-guess their decisions.
All right, Absurge has Earthen Wall. He wants to get that on Sidu when Sidu is kidney shot so that he can't move out of the defense and they can stay aggressive with it. Sidu silenced Mez's kidney shot. Great setup here. Clean by the Gosu Crew. That's going to bank them a Blessing of Sacrifice, redirecting damage to Sidu. He's forced to use the Avenging Crusader, gets mind controlled on it. Samayam purges him. He's trying to lead the charge. He's still getting mind controlled a lot. Samayam needs to remove that as soon as possible. Sidu hangs on. Avenging Crusader restabilized, but now gets stunned. Trades wall. Absurge Earthen Walls as well. This should be stopping a lot of the damage, but another hex on a Samayam could put them behind. Mez tries to keep his team in the fight with an intimidating shout. Stunning Peekaboo on the back end of his Shadow Step out of line of sight. WizKi backs him up with a mind control. I mean, both teams constantly making these small outplays to deny the kill is why this game is going on for so long, but still so intense. Sidu gets silenced. Mez is low. Peekaboo's still hovering at low health. Absurge needs to get ready for that Spirit Link. It's going to be one of their last lifelines in this fight.
Yeah, it was a nice blind onto Sidu. He trinketed into his silence, so these CC chains from the Gosu Crew very strong. Sidu was so denied on that last Avenging Wrath, and now doesn't have it available. Peekaboo may have overextended, though. Gets life gripped away by WizKi, looking for mind controls as well. Fakes the wind shear. Sidu now has a second to toss out some Holy Lights and top off his team. Good pressure coming in from Method Orange. WizKi getting close to that execute range. Might not want to not use the Dispersion, but Earthen Shield Totem will deflect that incoming damage. Peekaboo runs out of it, trying to maintain the pressure onto Sidu, who did manage to top off his team.
I mean, at this point, Peekaboo has to kill Sidu. They're just so far behind, I think it's going to be difficult. Sidu's got the mana lead. Absurge drops that Healing Tide, hopefully so that Peekaboo can stay aggressive, but he really can't. Mez and Samayam are putting it to him. Hex out a Stormbolt. Samayam's trying to fake cast Wind Shear and fake cast Grounding. Absurge repositions to line of sight. Top level play. Peekaboo's still under fire. Absurge is forced out in the open to heal him. If Samayam can get a sneaky Hex in, he Wind Shears Absurge's heal. Peekaboo has to trade. He's dipping low. They still got that Spirit Link. Samayam going for cheeky Hexes on both Shamans. Absurge gets his first. Samayam trinkets out. Smoke Bomb gets dropped. They cheap shot Mez. He trinkets instantly to trade Die by the Sword, but that was not Vendetta. Peekaboo baited Mez again. This happened in Tiger's Peak. They bait Mez's cooldowns with the bomb and then go for a Vendetta play later on, but then they Vendetta Sidu. He can just Divine Shield that off. Again, I feel like Peekaboo being a little overeager.
Yeah, WMChi getting low. Mez looking to make a swap over there. Earthen Shield Totem gets dropped out. Gosu Crew was able to pull out so many defensives from Method Orange. We're at 40% dampening. WMChi, though, in a lot of trouble. Once that Earthen Shield Totem fades, if Samayam and Mez can connect, they might be able to take WMChi down. Absurge running out of mana, but Method Orange running out of time. Kidney shot on Sea-Doo, stun on Mez. He gets lower. Sea-Doo still has ultimate sacrifice to keep Mez alive.
If Peekaboo just saved Vendetta, Mez died right there. It's Peekaboo's made 2 over-eager plays to end the game, and it just doesn't result in a kill. Now Mez can stay in the fight. Abster just tapped on mana. He's got Ascendance to bounce back. I'm surprised to not see him trade it yet. He gets Windshield on the heel. Samayam gets a Hex. He's got no Gladiator's Medallion. It's 3-on-2. 2 targets in execute range. Dispersion, but they're crushing right through it. Dampening is so high at this point. Every single player in this team, on both teams, is in danger of dying. Absurge goes for a Hex. Samayam's going to be locked out for another 5 seconds. He can't support the team as the Gosu Crew try to swing back into the fight. Stormbolt, Hammer of Justice, clean setup to kill Peekaboo. Method Orange take game 3 and put the Gosu Crew on match point.
Method Orange skip back into the lead. We'll be out of it. There's the 4 fun waiting in the lower bracket, but Grand Final is where everyone wants to be.
Yeah, we'll have to see if the Gosu Crew have come up with a decent answer for this Turbocleave coming in from Method Orange. They're going to be looking to get lots of crowd control, and I think if Sea-Doo overextends, he's also a decent target for WMChi and Jellybeans. The Paladin can be vulnerable, but I think on this large map, it's going to be difficult for Samayam and Mez playing these melee to actually stay on target.
Curious how Jellybeans and WMChi are going to play this. You kind of expect them to crowd control Sea-Doo and attack Mez and Samayam. That would be the more traditional way of playing this matchup, but they could try a different mode and maybe even attack Sea-Doo at some points. Sea-Doo is running Relentless, so he is not going to have Gladiator's Medallion to break out of crowd control and access powerful spells such as Blessing of Sacrifice. That could be risky here as a triple Solar Beam gets dropped down on the entire team, paired with that snaring trap from Jellybeans. That was an interesting combo. Sea-Doo gets Cyclone now on his Avenging Crusader, removing the damage and healing of it for a little bit, but WMChi gets shut down on the follow-up, allowing Sea-Doo to completely collide on Absturge. But the Gosu Crew correctly have set this up on the largest map in the pool. Tolvaron is a great map pick against a melee cleave, which is 2 melee classes, a warrior and enhancement shaman, both being melee, would make this a melee cleave. The Gosu Crew have drafted a good strategy, the best map pick, and now it's up to Method Orange to try and find a way to navigate around it.
Yeah, Sea-Doo used his Fire Blood, that Dark Iron Dwarf racial earlier during that Root Beam. So the next one, Sea-Doo will really have no way out of that, and that's when the Gosu Crew can look to get aggressive once again. WMChi looking for some damage onto Mez. Jellybeans gets stunned up, though. This damage coming in from Method Orange is very strong. Absturge gets wind sheared, and honestly, Samayam has been MVP with these wind shears consistently onto Absturge at the end of his cast, making it really difficult for him to fake.
All right, we see a Solar Beam on Sea-Doo. He is silenced. Samayam is in a Hex. Neither of those players can heal. Unfortunately, that crowd control ended up breaking a little bit prematurely, which means that Method Orange can now start to breathe easy and get more aggressive, charging down WMChi. They pulled his Barkskin earlier. Attacking the Balanced Druid is a great target. If you pin him down in bear form, he's not doing as much damage, and he's not getting Cyclones, which is a devastating crowd control effect. Unfortunately, the Freezing Trap into Bash is putting Sea-Doo behind. WMChi's looking for Cyclones, but they're pressuring WMChi. He can't go for it. Method Orange backing up Sea-Doo correctly during those crowd control chains. Now Absurge starting to struggle.
Yeah, Absurge falling behind. WMChi getting low, no Barkskin available. Mez interrupts him once again. Absurge very far away, looking for some heals. Samayam in a good position. Split strategy coming in from Method Orange, keeping everyone low. Jellybean's looking for a trap. Mez looks like the most vulnerable target here. Has his die by the sword. Samayam trying to throw some heals, but he gets caught in the Cyclone. Nicely done by WMChi. Rotates it over to Sea-Doo. So now Sea-Doo's in crowd control, finally gets out of it, but into a full Root Beam. Method Orange could be in some trouble, but Mez opting to trade out that die by the sword.
Yeah, during that cross crowd control. So the Gosu Crew are sort of solidifying their strategy. When Sea-Doo is in a freezing trap, WMChi will Cyclone Samayam, or Absurge will Hex Samayam, removing both those players from the fight, isolating Mez, and then going for huge burst damage on him. And that strategy, I think, is going to work out for them so long as they can stay alive a couple more attempts. In the meantime, Sea-Doo popping that Avenging Crusader, his entire team charging forward towards Jellybeans. He's under immense pressure. He feigned death, explosive traps, knocks the whole team away. WMChi follows up with the Cyclone. Jellybeans with excellent defensive maneuvers there.
Yeah, Jellybeans keeping himself alive. Very nicely done. Mez still all over him, keeping the pressure up. Sea-Doo and Sam-I-Am in full retreat. Method Orange, they want no part of this. They're going to pull back a little bit, allow Sea-Doo to top off the team. Absurge, I think in the meantime, is looking for a drink here, so he's going to be pulling very far away, trying to reset his mana, since Method Orange is basically allowing him to. Yeah, and WizKid can deny Sea-Doo from doing that with Starfall. We see them falling from the sky, keeping Sea-Doo in combat. This triple Dark Iron Dwarf squad just huddling behind the pillar, looking for their opportunity to strike on such a large map. They don't want to get exposed in center field. They're really looking for someone to overextend, someone they can pin down with a Storm Bolt and really dig in. There, they found WizKid. He overextended. They go for the double stun. Absurge not able to ground that, and they managed to bank a Barkskin off the back of that attempt. Now, immediately having gotten that, it's time to run and hide back behind the pillars. WizKid's activated the Incarnation. Love to see them attack Sea-Doo. He's in a good position. They do switch their attention to him. He trades the wall, reducing the incoming pressure. The Gosu Crew need to find a way to pin Method Orange down when they're playing this defensive. That's the problem when you don't really have a true melee on your team that can push in, like Peekaboo on the Rogue, where he can consistently land those stuns. It's going to be a much longer game, more difficult for the Gosu Crew to really close out unless Method Orange overextends. But this pressure coming in from the Gosu Crew is going to become much more effective, especially as Dampening gets higher. They can't run and hide behind the pillar forever, especially as you move forward to 20-25% Dampening. The Moonkin becomes very effective. All right, they're trying to charge down WizKid. They got Barkskin earlier, looking to force more cooldowns. They get Healing Tide, but not really much else. Jellybeans pops cooldowns. He knows that Method Orange in the middle of the map, it's time to do a lot of damage before they get back to that defensive posture at the pillar. Sea-Doo tried to bait Jellybeans back. He didn't fall for the bait, disengages away. Jellybeans really great on both defense and offense, knowing when to overextend and when not to. That was good awareness. Sea-Doo would have really liked to have gone for a Hammer of Justice behind the pillar, but Jellybeans isn't opening that option. WizKid shutting down that Avenging Crusader with these Cyclones, making it annoying for Sea-Doo to really get much going. WizKid trades Barkskin once again. The win condition for Method Orange is basically first WizKid down in a Stormbolt as quickly as possible. Look for some sneaky crowd control on Absurge, but don't overextend too far. We see Sea-Doo locked down in Solar Beam, but pressure is still on to Jellybeans. Damage-wise, Method Orange do so much more single target than the Gosu Crew. The Gosu Crew need big timing hits. They're not going to win on just bursty, consistent damage. So even though they've drafted a good map and a decent strategy, I don't think that it's well-rounded enough. In the way that Method Orange are doing these hit and runs, I'm thinking that the Method Orange are going to be able to take this series. I wonder if the Gosu Crew, if this is something that they've really practiced that much, or is it just something they sort of thought of on the fly to deal with what Method Orange has brought to the table. Stun now on Absurge. Another setup attempt onto Jellybeans. Hammer of Justice gets immediately dispelled. So a little bit of a miscommunication there, mistiming from Method Orange, allowing the Gosu Crew to easily deflect that assault. I'm starting to think the Gosu Crew should just start attacking everyone on Method Orange and run Sea-Doo out of mana. I think that actually is a much more consistent way of playing this matchup, and crowd control Sam-I-Am, remove his healing from the fight, because when they overextend and try and chase Sea-Doo and crowd control him, WizKid just gets pinned down or Jellybeans gets bursted, and they can't really overextend, but they can play the kind of wizard overlord position in center field and just attack everybody. Right now they've got good pressure on 3 targets. They're now using Freezing Trap on Sam-I-Am, but no cross crowd control, a bit of a waste. WizKid backs Jellybeans up. Absurge moving into the corner. They know they need Sam-I-Am and Mez in midfield, so they're trying to kite away, so Sea-Doo has to overextend. And they go for the Hammer of Justice. Absurge was a bit of a mind game. He would like to grounding totem those, but he didn't expect Sea-Doo to actually go for it. So Sea-Doo just went for it and read the mind of Absurge, lands that crowd control. Sea-Doo is getting attacked a bit now. I like this much better. The pressure is much higher for the Gosu Crew, but I wouldn't say it's still their game guaranteed. Method Orange are ducking for cover as WizKid pulls the trigger on Incarnation. His damage is maxed out, so Method Orange, they need to hide. Yep, they're going to be hiding behind the pillar. I think all 3 members from Method Orange are playing the Veiled Eye Trinket to keep them alive. Definitely Mez is. I thought I saw a few more. So they really want to survive. But I have to agree with you, Sid. I feel like the Gosu Crew, they really just need to focus on putting damage, putting pressure everywhere. And when Sea-Doo tries to catch up with his Avenging Wrath, that's when you go for the Root Solar Beams, you go for the Cyclones to deny some of that healing. There it is. Sea-Doo looking to get some effective heals out. WizKid caught into the stun. Sea-Doo's going to be able to chop him up and top off his team. WizKid getting lower. He trinkets out, needs to get back in line of sight of Absurge. That was a bit of a miscommunication, I think, on Absurge and WizKid's part. WizKid moved out of line of sight, got Hammer of Justice by Sea-Doo, and Absurge couldn't dispel it. So WizKid had to use his Gladiator's Medallion to break out, and now he's not going to have that. He's going to be much more vulnerable. And deep into Dampening,
Turbo can chop up a chicken quite easily. He's going to have to be careful. Jellybean's hovering at 50% as well. Pressure on both sides, but Absurge with a significant mana lead. So I would like to see the Gosu Crew focus on just attacking rather than crowd controlling at this point of the game. Burn the rest of Sidu's mana and just focus on consistent pressure. They bash up Sidu. WizKid trying to get a clone. He's forced away by Mez and Samayam. He can't follow up, but you can see that the Dampening is already doing work. Sidu just can't even top his team.
Yeah, WizKid still under fire. Absurge not having an easy time either. Jellybean's moving in, trying to get some damage done, and I really want to see the Gosu Crew. They just need to attack everybody at this point. Mez getting low. Sidu really struggling on that Holy Paladin to keep his team alive. Stormbolt now on the Jellybeans. He gets bursted down. Doesn't want to throw away the game. Feign death into the aspect of the turtle to stay alive. But look at Method Orange. They're running out of time. Sidu's running out of steam. I don't know how much longer he can sustain this.
Mez is just a heroic leaping back behind the pillar. Samayam's on the run, but Dampening is so high, even if they go behind the pillar, they can't heal back up. They're stacked up for Starfall. They're stacked up for Serpent Sting. They're all going to be taking damage. Absurge moves forward. Windshears the heal, tosses out a cheeky lava burst. They've got Sidu on the ropes. He doesn't have a lot to work with. His entire team in trouble. His Dampening is going to be unrelenting. Great freezing trap. Force the Divine Shield. Samayam gets cloned at low health. He trinkets. It's all in on Absurge. Will they be able to kill him before they run out of time?
I don't think so. Absurge still has Trinket, Spirit Link, Astral Shift. He has everything. Earthen Shield Totem will fade as Mez looks to reconnect, but WizKid doing so much damage on that Moonkin. Full stun on Samayam. Sidu trying to keep him alive, but ultimately the Cyclone comes in. Gosu Crew looking to tie up this series.
The final cup before spot if the Gosu Crew lose.
Trill not running reverse magic, even though it would get benefits on Root Solar Beam, is a bit peculiar. We're gonna have to wait and see if Jellybeans runs Diamond Ice Trap or not. Jellybeans charging in, fake cast Sidu's grounding totem. They kill that. They actually used a Tracker's Net Solar Beam. That was some nice teamwork there from Jellybeans and WizKid. Samayam under pressure, WizKid also under pressure. The Balanced Druids appear to be the primary targets in the initial stages of this fight.
Imprisonment on Absurge early on. Cyclone coming in from Samayam as well. Good pressure for Method Orange. Absurge is going to have to play catch up. Now a Cyclone on Jellybean. Samayam has really been on fire so far with his damage, with this crowd control, really bringing the heat to the Gosu Crew.
All right, this Earthen Wall Totem allowing WizKid to just position up and turret down Method Orange. Sidu running that adaptation is also a bit of a risky move because now he can get Freezing Trap. There's no reverse magic. He can get Root Solar Beam. There's no reverse magic. That's a 16-second crowd control chain Sidu has no decision to get out of now due to that talent selection. It's obviously very efficient because you get out of more crowd control in the game, but you can't choose when you get out of it. So the Gosu Crew can just save up all their damage, chain the Freezing Trap, chain the Solar Beam, and I'm not sure how Samayam's going to survive it. In the meantime, Method Orange are doing that to Absurge. He's locked in Solar Beam. Jellybeans gets him out with Master's Call. Absurge restabilizes. Jellybeans grappling hooks over. He's looking for the Freezing Trap. Sidu pre-Earthen Walls and Grounding Totem. I believe Jellybeans, did he manage to fake cast or he Freezing Trap into it is really the question. We couldn't see around the corner. He may have used Freezing Trap into Grounding. If so, nice play by Sidu.
Yeah, Trill, instead of that reverse magic like we talked about, he's playing the Detainment and basically lowers the cooldown on his imprisonment and also makes it longer in duration. So Method Orange going for more of a crowd control strategy, trying to take WizKid down. A lot of pressure coming in from Trill and Samayam. Absurge not any crowd control yet, just spamming out the heals. And if you look at mana, Siege is basically 100%. Absurge already down to 50%. The mana rift paying dividends for Method Orange.
I mean, it's also just Trill. As I can only imagine how high his DPS is right now. It's probably insane. Just look at Absurge's team. They're all below 50%. These Cyclones from Samayam at low health also making it annoying for Absurge to bounce back, finally connecting some big heals. Jellybeans is ready. He's been looking at Sidu this whole time, trying to find an opening for that Freezing Trap. Gets shut down. Double Chaos Nova. Solar Beam Absurge. They force that Gladiator's Medallion. They continue the chain through it. WizKid is under-responding. He's not trading. He trades Barkskin at low health. They may be able to push him over. Trill doing his best to do so. The chain gets dropped. WizKid stays alive. but at a very expensive cost.
Yeah, WMChi, he's in a lot of trouble as we move forward in this game. Absurge, no trinket. He does have the Spirit Link. He's going to have to preemptively use it, or WMChi is going to have to hold on after a CC chain. Seadu's still doing quite well on mana, positioned very far away, has the Earthen Shield Totem. Trill rotting down a little bit. In the meantime, looks like the Gosu Crew, they changed their attention onto Trill instead of Samayam, trying to punish him for this really aggressive playstyle he has on WMChi. Absurge looking for a drink. Trill trying to shut it down as he leaps over, flies over in order to stop Absurge from regaining that mana.
I'm not sure at this point. I mean, Method Orange are just snowballing to victory. That adaptation choice from Seadu is really the only thing I can see the Gosu Crew in any foreseeable future trying to punish. If they can proc that and then stun him and switch to him, I could see that being very effective. They've actually got Seadu in midfield. He wanted to take advantage of his Earthen Shield Totem that he used earlier, but now midfield against a Boomkin, I'd be very surprised to not see WMChi try to at least attack Seadu at some point. Seadu knows that now his Earthen Wall's faded. He repositions back. Now they're initiating crowd control, but they don't manage to stun lock Jellybean, so he gets Absurge out of that Solar Beam. Maybe they don't even need it. WMChi's low on health. Trill continues the chain. WMChi's ducking for cover, hiding behind the Shark Pillar to line of sight Samayam, but they've stacked up for Trill. He's going to be getting Blade Dance on 2 members. That's going to put Absurge even further behind.
Yeah, Absurge running that Counter-Strike totem, and Seadu saw it and ran in and meleeed it. That was very nicely done by him, preventing some of the damage Absurge would get from that. Samayam using his Incarnation, looking to move in. The entire team of the Gosu Crew, their line of sighting. Jellybeans charges in as I say that, looking for some damage on the Seadu. He uses the Astral Shift. I feel like he didn't need to, but I guess he's a little bit scared of Jellybeans here. Seadu trades out his Astral Shift, and that could be an opening.
Yep, Seadu's team's starting to fall behind. This is looking to be likely a dampening match here in Game 5. Method Orange with the early mid-game momentum advantage, but the Gosu Crew are starting to stabilize, and if they can initiate some crowd control chains and get that adaptation out of the way, it could be a huge... They are just going after Seadu. They're just trying to force the issue. Solar Beaming him on his Earthen Wall, but Seadu repositions inside his Earthen Wall, but out of the Solar Beam. Good positioning. He should be able to recover from that. Diamond Ice is what Jellybeans is running, so that's going to... Samayam actually trinkets. He didn't need to trinket it, but that is now an opening maybe to kill Samayam in an Intimidation stun later on, or even just Cyclone him and attack Seadu. This Gladiator's Medallion choice from Samayam was not one made with any sort of critical decision making. It was more of, I'm freezing trapped and frustrated and I want to attack someone. It had no value tied to it, which means that the Gosu Crew can punish it.
Yeah, I think that's true. Jellybean's getting low, has the aspect of the turtle. Is he going to trade it out? Absurge looking for the heals. Wind Shear on WMChi. Seadu trying to keep Samayam and Trill free, but eventually WMChi, he lands the full Cyclone on Samayam. Intimidation stun on Seadu. Can they get aggressive enough? Jellybeans has to play retreat a little bit in this fight. Absurge gets out of the imprisonment, lands some heals on Jellybeans. The Gosu Crew stabilize as they look to keep the pressure up on Seadu.
All right, Seadu's trying to position back behind, now running away. He's realized that Jellybeans is just going to attack him. Trill now rethinking his strategy is going to be attacking Jellybeans, as Jellybeans will overextend out of line of sight of Absurge. It's a nice adaptation, and I'm curious to see if they can manage to force Jellybeans away or potentially kill him behind the boxes. On this map, it's so easy to just reposition on top of the other team that you can't really get a huge positional advantage. Trill in that Diamond Ice. Jellybean's going after Seadu. Seadu has a lot of cooldowns to trade. Nice Solar Beam on the entire team by Samayam, isolating WMChi, but no follow-up on the back of that, and basically no damage done. Stun on Absurge. Jellybean still the target here by Trill, trying to force him off of Seadu. WMChi moves in, pops that Incarnation, could be devastating. Huge damage here on Seadu. Down below half, plops that Earthen Wall Totem. Ascendance is a nice trade on that Incarnation. Seadu should easily bounce back in this position, and it is now Jellybeans who is in trouble.
Yeah, the thing about Seadu playing the adaptation, because he's Orc, adaptation will never proc on the bash, so that's one thing to closely note. Seadu has to sit all of these full stuns. In the meantime, Jellybean's forced to use the aspect of the turtle. Stun onto Absurge. Method Orange, they're moving in. Cyclone on Absurge. Jellybean's all by himself. WMChi looking for some crowd control. Jellybean's trying to survive as long as he can. This might be the Spirit Link. Absurge playing a little bit greedy. Ultimately does drop it off, and Jellybeans will survive, but he's still low.
I really think the Method Orange should start attacking Absterge the same way the Gosu Crew are attacking Sidu and just turn this game into a kill everybody game, because they should be favored in that regard. If they don't attack Absterge, he doesn't spend any global cooldowns on himself, and it's really easy for him to just keep Earth Shield on Jelly Beans if they're only going to single target him. Sidu under actually a lot more pressure than I would have expected with this strategy. That adaptation choice could backfire on him, as you pointed out, with the Orc Racial. He can't Trinket and access Spirit Link Totem or Astral Shift, so that decision to be more efficient, it's a high value but high risk. Oh, a big mistake by Jelly Beans, going for that Intimidation Stun while it was still on diminishing return. No value there. Sidu is easily going to survive for quite some time now, whereas Jelly Beans, he doesn't have a lot to work with. Absterge is slowly but surely running out of mana. Full Cyclone secured. Jelly Beans in a 3-on-2. WMChi needs to help him. He looks for Cyclones and off-heals. Good support by WMChi, but the chain continues just that much so longer on Absterge. If they can keep it going a few more seconds, that Fellow Eruption to follow up. Jelly Beans hovering at low health. He can't afford to chase Sidu. He's waiting for Absterge, but then gets cloned at low health by Samayam. Sidu getting gunned down, barely staying alive. Both Jelly Beans and Sidu seem to be the most likely targets to go down in this fight.
Yeah, Method Orange, Gosu Crew, upper bracket finals, these two teams. There's a lot on the line here. Potentially, this is match point. 23% dampening. Jelly Beans at 50% HP, looking to keep the pressure up onto Sidu. This is nicely done by the Gosu Crew, and I have to agree with you, Sid. I want to see Method Orange. I want them to pressure down Absterge a lot more. Trill hasn't been getting that much value out of the mana rift in this matchup. Absterge's mana is very stable, and it feels like the Gosu Crew, they're feeling very comfortable in this matchup.
All right, Jelly Beans, much like a Terminator, is just trying to run down Sidu, but now getting clotheslined in midfield by Samayam. Really great Cyclone. WMChi pumping a couple Star Surge over onto Sidu, and he's just going to duck for cover out of line of sight of Jelly Beans. Trill still focusing on Jelly Beans, trying to get him off Sidu's back, but I'm not sure if it's really doing that much. Double stun here by the Gosu Crew. Sidu's team is in a bit of trouble here. The momentum is swinging in favor of the Gosu Crew. Trill barely stays alive, jumping away in desperation. Suddenly out of nowhere, momentum completely in favor of the Gosu Crew. If they can get a kill in the next 2 seconds, 1 second, Ascendant's now available, but Sidu wants to line that up with Incarn. WMChi should just sit on that and never press Incarn. If they can get, they get it. They get the Ascendance before Incarnation. The Gosu Crew just need to survive for 10 more seconds and push forward with a giant wave of damage off the back of this Incarnation.
WMChi pulls the trigger into a full Cyclone. Nicely done by Samayam, shutting that down. Now Jelly Beans, he has the Exhilaration, trades it out. Aspect of the Turtle available as well, but Trill has nothing left. Sidu gets out of the crowd control, might have to drop the Spear Link. He gets interrupted. Looking for the heals onto Trill, but he's into the trap. Nicely done by Jelly Beans. Spirit Link gets traded out by Absterge. Sidu might have to do the same. Both Shamans running out of time.
Damage on everybody. This is what I thought the matchup was going to turn into, is just a ballroom blitz. Everybody in trouble, ducking for cover as chaos ensues. Who is going to be able to take this? It's match point. WMChi's trying to get in center field to get something going. They stun up Samayam. They switch their attention to him. They get Barskin. They switch their attention to Trill. He tries to play dance to the kill. He's hanging on by a thread. Sidu's got almost nothing left to keep him alive. He manages to stay in it. Jelly Beans now getting Fell Erupted. There's the cross crowd control on Absterge, stuck into silence. Jelly Beans getting bursted down in 3-on-2. WMChi though with great support with a Cyclone on Trill. He needs to support Jelly Beans just a little longer. Goes for another clone. Sidu breaks it up. They manage to get them open. Mana is evening out. Dampening is getting higher and higher. It's anyone's game.
Nobody has anything left. WMChi forced to use out his Barkskin here. Trill needs to be very careful. He's a great target for the Gosu Crew right now. Jelly Beans under fire. Imprisonment on Absterge. Jelly Beans, you're not going to get away from this one. Method Orange claim game number 5.
Trill unleashed, Trill unlimited. He comes out in game 5 for Method Orange, and they...
What?
Jinx.
50-50. For fun, people believe in the upset. I'm probably aligned with Twitch chat right now. I'm sitting there like rigged.
Well, to be fair, Adrian did say if you guys are voting for Method Orange, go for fun as well, because they definitely want fun to win this matchup.
What?
Looks like Gosu Crew's going to be getting aggressive very early on with the blind onto WMChi. He's not playing Trinket, so he's going to be stuck into all of these full blinds, into saps if Peekaboo so chooses.
That was well timed by Omnivore. He war bannered right as blind ended, so if Peekaboo went for a sap, it would be half the duration. So Peekaboo didn't even go for it. They break the blind chain. Now WMChi can get uptime with the way of the crane. It's going to allow him to punch back quite heavily. We're waiting to see that earthen wall kind of get used up. Then after that, they're going to look for burst. Wave Crane's over. Whoopi decides to escape, portaling back out of line of sight, but caught in a silence. The Gosu Crew have tons of pressure right now. All 3 members under attack. Whoopi, well-placed Revival. Revival is a team heal and cleans the team of all magical debuffs. So those vampiric touches, he just dispelled his whole team right when he was in a lot of trouble. It was very well timed. But even despite that, the Gosu Crew have momentum.
Yep, for fun, they're basically going to be slowly falling behind if Whoopi can't get cast off until that Way of the Crane. And if the Gosu Crew can shut down the Way of the Crane, they're going to be in a very good spot. You can see Whoopi's mana isn't looking great, already at around 65%. Nice Ring of Peace on Absurge, who was going for an early drink. Now Whoopi caught midfield, into a silence, into a hex. Rosita Jones gets kidney shot. Out of the kidney shot, gets a dispel. Quaking Palm by WMChi. Looking for a fear, but he ports it. Nicely done. Really well played by Whoopi in this game. He's definitely warmed up, and even though they're just playing for fun, they are a real threat to the Gosu Crew. Peekaboo trying to end that threat by cutting it short and making a swap to the healer. Whoopi catches him in a leg sweep, immediately restabilizing. What I would really like to see with the Ring of Pieces is not so much cheeky play by Whoopi, but more consistency. Pair them up with those earthen walls, knock the Shadow Priest out of that damage reduction, then all 3 members just punch and go for it. The cheeky Ring of Peace behind the pillar doesn't really get any guaranteed value, and now it's not aligned with earthen wall. Whoopi is going to have to wait and save that, but that is a win condition for them nonetheless. Peekaboo is looking to end it, switches back to Whoopi once again. Diffuse magic from Whoopi, removing those pesky damage over time effects. Mistweaver is a great pick into a Shadow Priest. You just have so many things that counteract magical damage over time effects. The pressure on WMChi is great, and For Fun are showing signs of life here in game 1. Yeah, WMChi forced to disperse, not going to have that available for another minute and 50 seconds. So that's an opportunity for Fun. WMChi does have his trinket coming up and the Void Shift, so he should be able to keep himself alive if they react to the situation appropriately. Whoopi's mana dipping lower as well, but Absurge not very far ahead, to be honest with you. You just have to use a lot of mana, as WMChi's just been taking so much damage in this matchup so far.
Spirit Link Totem from Absurge. He's pushing over, looking for a Hex out of the blind. They get the sap. Whoopi used Renewing Mist. It doesn't put you in combat. He needed to use another spell to get into combat. Renewing Mist does not. So now he gets sapped. His team falls a little bit behind, has to trade Astral Shift. This is where I want to see the Ring of Peace. Earthen Wall Totem is down. They need to knock WMChi out of the protection, but he's not going for it. There's the Ring of Peace. A little bit misplaced. WMChi gets knocked to the other side of the Earthen Wall Totem. Whoopi really needs perfect aim because the Earthen Wall is a bigger radius than Ring of Peace. It's not guaranteed you'll knock them out. You have to really think about where you're placing it. But if he places it with extreme precision with the Way of the Crane and all 3 members on WMChi, they can eradicate him.
Yeah, WMChi taking a lot of damage right now. Caught into the Stormbolt. No trinket. Still has the Void Shift. That's the last lifeline the Gosu Crew really has available. Whoopi having to play very defensive now. Way of the Crane's not available for another 40 seconds. So he's pulled back to the pillar, but Peekaboo wants to keep the pressure up on Whoopi. Shadow Step kick, maybe into a kidney shot. Diffuse Magic gets traded out by Whoopi. Peekaboo is going to continue the assault, but most likely going to be going back to Rosita Jones and Omnivore soon to protect WMChi.
Way of the Crane coming up in 20 seconds. That Ring of Peace is cheeky on Absurge, knocking him out of line. Actually got a Void Shift. That is a high value. And they're going to swap to Absurge. Oh, he got Life Grip back to center field. For Fun have some tricks up their sleeves, and this is definitely not going to be easy for the Gosu Crew.
Yeah, Whoopi, he might be going for a drink right now, trying to get out of combat. Peekaboo moving forward, trying to shut that down. Uses a Cloak of Shadows. Whoopi gets in combat. Not going to be getting sapped once again, but a nice interrupt coming in from Peekaboo. Rosita Jones and Omnivore not really taking too much pressure, though. WMChi still under fire. Activates the Vampiric Embrace. Dispersion should become available once again.
Whoopi has stepped up his play so much from the start of the season. He pre-fortifying bruised the kidney shot. Peekaboo immediately switches back right as that fades, though. He's under pressure. It's one-on-one between Peekaboo and Whoopi. Whoopi is trading much more efficiently without a stun or interrupt. You're not going to win that race against the Mistweaver, but mana, Absurge is ahead. We've just hit Dampening. Smoke Bomb attempt on Rosita. He Ring of Peace is the Smoke Bomb. That's a good defensive utility, but I really think they need it aggressively to end the game. Blind. Let's see if Omnivore can deflect this with Disarm. He gets Cheap Shot. Well played by Peekaboo, denying any sort of prevention from Omnivore there. This is a nice play by the Gosu Crew, putting Whoopi heavily behind.
Yeah, Rosita Jones still under fire. Whoopi moves in with the Way of the Crane, looking for some heals, but he gets kidney shot. In the meantime, though, WMChi taking quite a bit of damage. They kill him through it! WMChi uses the dispersion way too late, and For fun, despite all the odds against them.
If you're a fan of Method Orange right now, you definitely want to switch up who you typically give your energy to, and you want to give your energy for fun. If they are able to win this one, they will be just one map away from going to the grand final and securing Method Orange a shot at being the #1 team in North America leading into BlizzCon.
Rosita Jones manages to beat the Gosu Crew and manages to beat Method Orange. I feel like he deserves an in-game title just personally for him, the Dynasty Destroyer, because he comes out of nowhere and just dismantles what would be considered the most powerful teams in the world. Let's see if he can do it again, Ven.
Yeah, Rosita Jones, I think he's playing that same build we saw yesterday where he really focuses on casting with the flame cannon, but Peekaboo's not allowing him to. He's all over him, interrupting his cast, making sure he's pressured down, looking for a shadow step kick onto Whoopi. Whoopi fakes it though, going to be able to easily stabilize Rosita Jones' HP in this matchup. If we look, Gosu Crew, they really haven't used anything defensive just yet except WMChi's Trinket. He broke up the last chain with a nice fear.
All right, blind sap, classic setup by Peekaboo. Good pressure on 2 targets with both Omnivore and Rosita. Not as much as I expected. Good setup, tons of what the damage right there. For fun, almost erased Peekaboo from the universe. They traded basically everything to survive that hit.
Trinket from Peekaboo, Vanish, Cloak of Shadows, WMChi, Void Shift. Yeah, like you said, everything in the universe to keep him alive, and that was a beautiful setup. Combustion and Meteor from a Fire Mage does insane damage. What the Gosu Crew has to do in order to counter that, they have to all stack up in that Meteor to soak it all together. Basically splits the damage amongst all targets inside of it. If Peekaboo's alone, he gets caught into a leg sweep, that's going to be devastating for Gosu Crew.
I mean, if they just keep repeating that on Peekaboo, I think he's not going to be making it out alive, and the pressure is not there. Whoopi seems to be very comfortable healing through the damage. Normally we see the Gosu Crew just destroying the enemy team, everyone at 50% health, but Whoopi's just chilling. Now there's another Meteor with Sharpened Blade. That combo of abilities is so devastating. The reduction of healing and huge burst puts Peekaboo behind. That Earthen Wall Totem, would have liked to see a Ring of Peace here, knock Peekaboo out of that damage reduction and try and get a little bit more sneaky pressure. They've got Gladiators medallions from all 3 members of the team, and For Fun are in a good position outside of mana right now. Whoopi's mana, not good. He needs to fix that if he wants to win this. I would like to see them maybe reposition and try and set Whoopi up for a drink to regenerate that mana.
Yeah, they just need one good setup. If Whoopi can get a leg sweep on Peekaboo, push in, get an incapacitate onto Absurge, that's definitely a win condition.
Oh!
They already traded it out.
Oh!
Polymorph on Absurge. Can they kill Peekaboo?
Surprise!
Smoke bomb For Fun. Claims game number 2 as well.
I said it. I said it. They're going to surprise us.
For Fun.
Just really owns the Gosu Crew on that RPS, and now I think the Gosu Crew are overthinking the composition. I feel like a Feral Druid pick here is just clean, kill the Mage, end this. Now you got to figure out what you're going to do for the next 2 matches. Locking in the Balance Druid, Mistweavers do so excellently against classes with magic damage over time effects with an honor talent called Counteract Magic, which makes Renewing Mist an insane heal. And WMChi as a Moonkin has multiple dots on the whole team, so he gets that value on everybody. It's going to make his team incredibly durable. We see Jellybeans focused down in the initial stages of this fight. Not the biggest fan of that target selection. Rosita falling behind. This situation is what a Mistweaver is weak against. Crowd control, single target burst. Whoopi was crowd controlled and they single target bursted Rosita. If the Gosu Crew keeps setting this up, they're definitely setting up for victory. I think For Fun needs to change their targets and start breaking up that crowd control chain, or at least kind of get in their face. They're not doing any pressure. Now attacking WMChi finally. He retreats away. Good awareness by WMChi. He cannot afford to stand next to a warrior too long.
I don't know if Rosita Jones can play this flame cannon style against the Gosu Crew. I mean, maybe, but it seems like they need crowd control and Absurge to actually close out the game. Rosita Jones opting to just be a turret, looking to reset his combustion as fast as possible. Every time he gets a fireball off, that lowers cooldown of combustion, allowing For Fun to get that one-shot window once again.
All right, Jellybeans wants to get a freezing trap. Whoopi's not making it easy by ducking around out of line of sight. Jellybeans grappling hooks. Whoopi portals. I think Jellybeans didn't fall for it. He's still got that freezing trap. They go for a Tracker's Net Solar Beam. Good teamwork. Whoopi's locked out. Now they need single target damage, but they get deflected by Omnivore, channeling that inner Blizzo from EU, crowd controlling both WMChi and Absurge, breaking up the chain and denying the damage. Sick play by Omnivore.
Yeah, Rosita Jones, I don't think has moved his position for the last minute.
Fireball.
Just trying to get out as much damage. Keep in mind, look at his position here. Absurge very far away. He doesn't want to go for crowd control. He doesn't have an ice block. He's very vulnerable. Now Meteor going to land on WMChi.
He dodged it.
Dodged it. No damage is going to be coming from that as Whoopi charges in, looking to get some crowd control onto Absurge.
Oh.
Jones forced to push in a little bit. There's a full trap onto Whoopi, though. Rosita Jones activates the Temporal Shield. He's looking to line of sight, looking to avoid some damage. Dragon's Breath onto Jellybeans, going to be polymorphing him up. Just needs to stall out until Whoopi gets out of CC.
Jellybeans trinketed that polymorph. If Rosita stays alive, he doesn't have much to work with. Whoopi barely gets that life cocoon to stabilize. Trading that Thunder Focus T, trying to immune incoming interrupts on top Rosita. This is a panic situation right now. Rosita doesn't have very much. He just blinks in the middle of the map. He's completely exposed. Whoopi's choosing, he has to trinket Gladiator's Medallion. They try to punish Jellybeans. Absurge denies it with that Earthen Wall Totem. Very well placed. And even though I second-guessed the composition by the Gosu Crew, their strategy is excellent. They're causing a lot of disruption, putting Rosita Jones heavily behind. The next freezing trap on Whoopi could easily close the match.
They want to kill Jellybeans, though, and I think Jellybeans knows that he's playing defensive. He doesn't want to overextend. No trinket. He gets caught in a leg sweep with a Meteor. It is good night, Jellybeans. Whoopi pulling back a little bit, trying to connect some heals onto Rosita Jones once again. He's trying to reset his combustion. He's got quite a while to go, but the more fireballs he gets off, the quicker that is going to come off cooldown. Full root solar beam onto Whoopi. He gets caught into the stun. Looks like Gosu Crew actually trying to get some damage rolling onto Whoopi, but he actually pre-fortifying elixired it.
That was really well done by Whoopi. And now Jellybean stunned Poly on Absurge. Could spell trouble, but Jellybeans is trying to reverse the pressure, gunning down Rosita during that freezing trap. Jellybeans is still loading. He gets match point. He barely stays alive. Aspect of the turtle gets activated. The one thing that's so annoying for Jellybeans is that Mistweaver and Mage are so mobile. If he wants to trap Whoopi, Whoopi goes to the other side of the map. If Jellybeans uses all his mobility to trap him, he can't use mobility to get back to Rosita and attack him. And Whoopi, Rosita with that, it's kind of peculiar, the Mistweaver Mage, but that is one way they synergize together. There's freezing trap. Now Rosita can use Blink and get away. Whoa, just blinked on top of him, but he broke the trap with it. Interesting play by Rosita. He's going to recover. Jellybeans needs to be careful. It's match point. He can't afford to throw.
Yeah, another Cyclone on Rosita Jones. He's trying to play a little bit more aggressive. Lands a full polymorph on Abs. Jellybeans all by himself. The Earthen Shield Totem gets dropped out. But it's not enough. Jellybeans getting so low. WMChi gets interrupted. Beautiful setup coming in from For Fun. Absurge scrambling to keep him alive. Tremor. Nice Tremor Totem coming in from Absurge on that Fear. Will keep him out of the CC and keep Jellybeans alive.
Whoopi in a Solar Beam. Jellybeans is swapping to him. He's fed up of this pesky monk just rolling around. Wants to attack him, but Whoopi's managed to escape. I think they should actually start attacking Omnivore in these crowd control chains. If the Warrior's using mobility to run away, he's not attacking. At least they can slow down some of the damage, because this is a close call for the Gosu Crew. Another freezing trap with no value. Rosita's got Ice Block now. For Fun are starting to restabilize. They actually might get Ice Block right now. Huge damage from Jellybeans. Nice Cyclone on Temporal. Rosita trinkets out to get the value of this. He's going to pop back to full, but Whoopi's almost out of mana. We've just set foot into Dampening. They have to kill Jellybeans in this next polymorph. If they execute polymorph on Absurge, counterspell on WMChi Cyclone, Stormbolt Jellybeans, it's KO. It's good night for the Gosu Crew, and For Fun will advance to the finals. If they can't set that up, they're running out of mana and running out of time, and Gosu Crew will stay alive in this series.
Yeah, Omnivore getting a little low now. Whoopi caught into the bash, into the full trap. He has his trinket. He has Life Cocoon, opts the trinket out of that trap. Wanting to keep his team aggressive.
There it is.
Forward. Here's the setup on Jellybeans. Ring of Peace gets used on the Earthen Shield Totem. Nicely done as he moved back into it. Unfortunately for Fun, Jellybeans can easily get back in that Totem and get all that damage reduction that will ultimately keep him alive.
All right, that was the setup to win. They still have another window. A little bit more time before those Gladiators medallions are available for the Gosu Crew, but they don't have mana. Whoopi says, okay, we're playing for the long game. I'm rolling all the way over here and trying to drink. The Gosu Crew need to push forward and stop it. They've got good pressure on Rosita. He's forced to duck back. Whoopi didn't get any mana. Omnivore goes for the game-winning play. He's setting up everything on his own. Rosita gets Solar Beam, trying to slow down some of the damage and keep Jellybeans alive. Gets counterspelled on the Cyclone, but Jellybeans hangs in there with a nice defensive disengage. Whoopi gets bashed. He's even getting attacked. Now freezing trap. Unfortunately breaks. Now Whoopi can easily start healing, but with what mana?
Yeah, Rosita Jones gonna struggle to stay alive with no mana whatsoever on Whoopi. Gosu Crew looking to put a point on the board. Omnivore rotting down as well. Rosita Jones getting low. He gets the polymorph on Absurge. WMChi could be in some trouble. Boomkin gets used. Absurge tanking these sheeps, just dropping the Earthen Shield Totem. It's very intelligently done. He knows if he goes into CC, he wants his team to basically be immune to damage, and he's consistently doing this over and over.
Whoopi's not going to get enough mana to Way of the Crane again unless he drinks, and I think they need Way of the Crane to just push them over the edge. He's trying to sit for a drink right now, but he can't. He drops Ring of Peace to try and sit for a drink, but Jellybean just jumps in there and denies it. Everybody can get attacked. I want to see the Gosu Crew just attack 3 targets. Revival well placed by Whoopi. He gets rid of all of those Moonkin damage over time effects. Stays in the fight a little bit longer. He's doing whatever he can do to extend the match with no mana, but they can't get any counter pressure. Those Gladiators medallions are available. Unless they get a miracle kill with the biggest meteor ever, the Gosu Crew should be taking this.
Yeah, the Gosu Crew seeming bulletproof at this point. All 3 members have Trinket, defensive cooldowns, for fun. They're running out of time. 15% dampening. Whoopi into the trap. He trinkets out. Now doesn't have that available as well. The Gosu Crew trying to finish up this game. WMChi pops the Incarnation moving forward. Omnivore now the target of choice. Meteor on WMChi. Big burst coming in from Rosita, but ultimately the Earthen Shield Totem will deflect once again, and Omnivore will be the one that falls.
For fun with one of the most innovative strats that we have at home.
Rosita Jones, the Dream Eater, the Dynasty Destroyer. He comes out of nowhere from North America to slay Titans, and he's taken down quite a few already in this final cup before BlizzCon, and he's looking to chew up more. The Gosu Crew are on the back foot. They're on match point. They're flailing. They break out this Moonkin composition in desperation to try and take For Fun down. For Fun initiating crowd control into 2 members. Jellybeans retreating away. Good defensive maneuvering from Jellybeans to avoid the initial attack.
Yeah, Whoopi popping that Way of the Crane immediately to counteract some of the damage WMChi is going to have available with that Incarnation. Gets Cyclone, though. In the meantime, Omnivore caught into a stun. Big pressure coming in from the Gosu Crew. Omnivore needs to be careful. Rosita Jones needs to support him. Whoopi's going to be able to connect some heals and top him off. A little bit of a scary moment, but they managed to stabilize.
All right, both teams stabilized. We're really looking for that freezing trap from Jellybeans. He needs to snipe it. They bash Whoopi. They're going to attack him? It's pretty risky. Jellybeans is overextending. He's forced to disengage away. He's on the run. It's match point. He cannot afford to go down. This is so much pressure on the Gosu Crew. They want to get back for that rematch. They have to if they want to keep their first place point position. It's so important for them.
Yeah, Omnivore leaping over, trying to eat the trap. Jellybeans just dropped on Whoopi. A lot of pressure coming in from Rosita Jones and Omnivore. Jellybeans trying to kite away. Nice Cyclone coming in from WMChi. Gets wind sheared on the next one. Rosita Jones shutting down that CC chain. Leg sweep on Jellybeans. He has his trinket and the aspect of the turtle, but opting not to trade it out as Absurge wasn't in any crowd control. Can easily just free cast those heals and keep Jellybeans stable.
Yeah, WMChi going for Cyclones as well. The support of the Balance Druid important for Jellybeans to survive in those dire situations. But look at this. For Fun have the Gosu Crew running away. Not very many teams can do that. Jellybeans is scared for his life. He doesn't want to risk it, but now WMChi got left behind. He's getting chopped up. Absurge Earthen Wall Totems. Now pressure finally being secured on Omnivore. He leaps back up, but he leaps right back into melee range of Jellybeans. Jellybeans like, yeah, okay. I'll just start smacking you. The crowd control was well timed on Whoopi, but Rosita with good support using his Gladiator's medallion to save Omnivore allowed them to survive through that extended chain. Now For Fun have an opportunity to strike. There's the paralysis. Tons of damage. Everything on the line as Jellybeans runs away once again for his life.
Yeah, Whoopi activated the Way of the Crane, immediately cycloned by WMChi, so that was nice crowd control, denying those additional damage and healing. Full trap going to be coming in from Jellybeans. He leaps over, harpoons over, snipes the trap on Whoopi. Omnivore once again under fire, taking some damage. Rosita Jones, though, throwing out the heals to keep him alive. We look at mana. Whoopi's a little bit behind, so if the Gosu Crew, they can extend this game out long enough, potentially that is a win condition for them.
I actually think on Dalaran Surge, their best target is Absurge. And just running him down and putting all crowd control into WMChi. What is he going to do with basically 3 members attacking him, and they remove the support of the Balance Druid? Absurge is making that difficult as a choice. He's got really great positioning out in the open, so WMChi can always support him. Freezing Trap on Whoopi, stun on Rosita, good cross crowd control, but not enough damage to really force too much as For Fun restabilize. The Gosu Crew can also play to that mana advantage with the Mistweaver being disadvantaged there against the Restoration Shaman. That's how they've won that last game as well, was mana. So the Gosu Crew are trying to play it more patient and cautiously, but whoa, tons of damage. Aspect of the Turtle as well as Exhilaration just blown out of the way by For Fun, and they can make risky moves. They've still got a point on the board to move with, and that's putting even more pressure on the Gosu Crew.
These setups for Fun are just, they're simple. Whoopi pushes in, he gets the Incapacitate on Absurge, Stormbolt on Jellybeans. With the amount of damage that Turbo has available, it make it very scary for Jellybeans. And you can tell, look at how he's positioned. He does not want to move in. Normally Jellybeans is in your face, he's getting traps, but For Fun looking to really punish that playstyle.
No Earthen Wall for 2 more seconds, tons of damage. Barskin needs to be enough. Absurge clutches a couple Riptides. That Earthen Wall will protect WMChi. Close calls left, right, and center for the Gosu Crew as they sit on match point. Their first place position on the line as For Fun, the Dynasty Destroyers, look to close it out. Good crowd control, no damage. And right now, For Fun are just disrupting everything the Gosu Crew tried to do. The only thing that Gosu Crew have going in their favor is Whoopi's mana. It's a strong win condition, though. I really hope Whoopi tries to set up for some drinks and play for a later match. If he doesn't do that, the Gosu Crew can walk away with this.
Yeah. Omnivore moving in with Rosita Jones on WMChi once again. No Barkskin, no Earthen Shield Totem, unfortunately, for Absurge. He gets caught into the leg sweep. Whoopi pushing in. They want to close out this game. Absurge has the trinket down the Spirit Link. Last line of defense available for the Gosu Crew. Whoopi getting targeted down by Jellybeans. He's really looking to pressure this Mistweaver Monk and sort of allow Whoopi to use more mana. If he can keep the pressure up on Whoopi, now he lands a full trap, goes over.
WMChi!
Pressure, but in the meantime, WMChi is the one that's in trouble, caught into the Stormbolt. Absurge trades out the Earthen Shield Totem once again. We're moving into Dampening, folks.
Yeah, WMChi gets bursted like he did earlier with healing reduction. He just goes down. Although at the same time, Whoopi's going to be taxed even more heavily on his mana. He's managed to at least stabilize it. He's not just burning it down. He goes for crowd control. WMChi doesn't have much. He pins Absurge against the wall. He tried to catch him not being able to cast, but it wasn't enough. Absurge escapes. WMChi's on the run. He needs to get some distance from Rosita. He's tearing in. It's match point. He's on the run, ducking for cover. Hex out of Stormbolt. WMChi dispels that, but he's not. He has to get out of bear form. They need that Spirit Link Totem, I think, pretty soon here. Pressure is just starting to mount in favor of For Fun even further. He needs to fake cast the Windshear. Absurge fake casts the Windshear. Healing waves crashing in, but WMChi is still just under immense pressure. He can't go anywhere. He's pinned down, and For Fun have lots of momentum. If the Gosu Crew can't stay alive until Whoopi runs out of mana, I think they're going to be able to take this.
There's a fear on Absurge. Omnivore not wanting to push in. Finally charging over to WMChi. Stormbolt. Whoopi into a trap. Omnivore needs to be in a little bit of... he needs to be cautious in this moment. He's in a little bit of trouble as they swap over onto Rosita Jones, taking some pressure. Right now, the Gosu Crew is feeling very comfortable in that Earthen Shield Totem, but once that fades, WMChi is going to be very vulnerable as a target once again.
Whoopi's getting mana. He's getting mana. He got so much mana. For Fun are in a great position for victory now in this match. The Gosu Crew can't rely on that only win condition that they had. They've got damage. They need to take Rosita out here quick, but WMChi's getting pushed back. There's no Earthen Wall Totem. They're cutting through that Barkskin like butter. Rosita gets through Windshear. If he hexes Absurge and stuns WMChi, it could be devastating. Whoopi gets freezing trapped. They're trying to spread their pressure. Whoopi doesn't want to fall behind. He trinkets. Way of the Crane. Whoopi could get a huge hit right now on WMChi. He leg sweeps some. But WMChi pops Incarnation. He's trying to switch some pressure away. Things are going to get chaotic into Dampening, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, WMChi is the one that's in a lot of trouble, though. Incapacitate on Absurge. He trinkets with the Spirit Link. WMChi needs to be a little bit more careful. It's his Incarnation, but wasn't really going to get too much done with Whoopi's Way of the Crane. Now Jellybeans having to run away once again. Rosita Jones and Omnivore pushing in, but Whoopi, he used a lot there. No Life Cocoon, no Way of the Crane, no Trinket available for him. He used a lot of his defensive to keep his team aggressive, and now they could be in some trouble.
WMChi! Match point! 5%! Barely stays alive. Absurge keeps them going just a little bit longer, but they don't have the mana advantage. Momentum swinging more and more in favor of For Fun. Nobody could have predicted this. Nobody could have predicted this. Rosita Jones is just decimating the competition in the last tournament. before Blizzcon. Full intimidating shout. WMChi ducking for cover. He's just pinned down in bear form. He can't get any pressure going. Jellybeans is trying to carry. He goes after Whoopi on a solo mission. Whoopi versus Jellybeans. Whoopi starting to stabilize, gets freezing trapped at low health, but WMChi is still just under so much pressure.
Yeah, and Absurge has nothing to keep him alive. He gets wind sheared by Rosita Jones. WMChi hanging on by a thread. Whoopi interrupting the heals coming in from Absurge. Do they have any more crowd control? WMChi's just been having to sit in bear for so long looking for his leg sweep on Absurge, and For Fun close out this series, sending the Gosu Crew home.
Such an interesting phenomena is going to happen. Can For Fun do it? Can they take out every single BlizzCon qualified team from the North American region?
Oh, if Sam saw Peekaboo on Tolvaron Arena, he would be prepared for that here on game number 1. Best of 7 grand finals. This match will solidify the bracket at BlizzCon. If you want to see who's going to be going head-to-head in that global finals, the result will be shared after this.
Trill trinkets, and he dashed right out of that meteor immediately. He also used the blur, so a little bit preemptive there by Method Orange. I feel like if they were watching that one game, For Fun took down Peekaboo, they put the fear of God in Method Orange. Trill playing very careful in that situation.
Whoopi getting locked down in crowd control. It's a 3-on-1 towards Rosita. Tons of damage from Sam and Trill. He's in trouble. They're looking to try and get cauterized. They don't find it. Whoopi denies with that life cocoon. Trades out quite effectively and efficiently against the initial assault of Method Orange. But Sam's making it annoying by cycloning Rosita at low health. Was able to duck around the corner, line of sight the incoming cyclones after the fact. You know what I think I want to see For Fun do? And if it doesn't work, they're going to be behind for the rest of the game, but just a huge swap to Sidu at some point. Just drop all of that damage right when he doesn't expect it. Maybe for a couple more stun locks, go after Sam. Make Sidu think he's comfortable, and then just shift it all up and go after him. Of course, they need to survive to that point. Rosita's just been under fire this entire game. Whoopi trying to connect some heals, manages to top him off. Decent pressure on Sam. Quite an evenly fought fight.
Yep, now Cyclone on Rosita Jones. As soon as he stabilized, Sam just cycloning him up and really just slowing down For Fun's momentum a lot. And I have to agree with you. I think if they get a Frost Nova on Trill, a counterspell on Sam, Sidu's going to be a very vulnerable target for them to sort of go all into. Sam gets interrupted, Stormbolt on Trill. He could be in a little bit of trouble. This is Combustion from Rosita Jones. A lot of damage incoming, but Sidu just easily deflects it with some well-timed heals.
Yeah, that soul rending as well is just healing Trill back up in quite a hurry. Double leg sweep from Whoopi. Clutch play, trying to get some damage off the back end. Earthen Shield available. Sidu holding on to it. It's a risky move. There's a lot of damage right now. Whoopi gets cycloned though. The crowd control from Method Orange has been immaculate. They've kept Rosita Jones on the back foot for most of this game. Dipping low. Needs to try and get away. Whoopi is still crowd control. Triple Fear Poly set up. Great play, but Rosita's the one who's in trouble. They proc cars, but they force the darkness. Cooldown's being forced on both sides.
That was well done by Rosita. Manages to find the meteor on Sam. He has to trinket. Barks again. Darkness from Trill. Rosita Jones under fire. Temporal Shield and Ice Block going to be used by Rosita Jones. Whoopi falling behind as he gets swapped to. Trill all over the map, pressuring down For Fun.
This is the best strategy for Method Orange is when the crowd control chain isn't up, attack everyone, create havoc amongst all 3 members. Then when that chain comes up, initiate it, get Whoopi out of the fight, single target Rosita down. If they bounce between both of those strategies, they're going to drain the most amount of mana and play to that win condition that they are inevitably playing for. Whoopi's heavily behind in this position. For Fun, need to be careful. Omnivore moving over, Spell Reflect on the Cyclone, well timed.
This is potentially one of the problems with Rosita Jones's build. He really focuses on casting those fireballs, and if Method Orange can just push on top of him, keep him pressured down, it becomes very difficult for him to get out these casted spells to really empower his boss. Big setup on Trill, no trinket. Sidu has to trinket and drop the Spirit Link.
What?
Still a lot of trouble. Can't For Fun pulls it.
What on earth? Oh my goodness! They're able to find the opportunity. I was about to.
You know, Rosita Jones, Omnivore, and Whoopi try to set up those big one-shots that we've been seeing so far, and we're gonna see how effective it is.
And keep in mind what's at stake here. If For Fun is able to take this, the Gosu Crew is the #1 seed. If we see the other scenario play out, Method Orange winning, they are the #1 seed in North America. Either way, we are going to show you the bracket for BlizzCon as soon as this grand final comes to a close and we crown our champion after this best of 7.
It's unbelievable to think that For Fun out of nowhere can completely change the BlizzCon bracket. They try to catch a surprise attack on Sea-Doo. He trades appropriately. Now a surprise attack on Whoopi. He's forced to trinket. Both healers under pressure in the grand finals to decide who will be the top dog of North America.
That was such an insane play. Sea-Doo drops the Earthen Shield Totem. He gets incapacitated, then Ring of Peace out of the Earthen Shield Totem, then leg swept alone. They land the Meteor, force out Trinket, and the Astral Shift. Nice play coming in from For Fun.
And I think a Whoopi playing this Mistweaver at a caliber that we've seen nobody else be able to replicate is throwing Method Orange for a bit of a loop. They've never gone head-to-head. I would argue that Mistweaver, other than Holy Priest, is probably significantly weaker than most of the other healers. But when you play at Whoopi's level, suddenly you're able to compete. And I think Method Orange weren't prepared for it, but now in this situation, they've set up well with that Cyclone on Whoopi, creating a 3-on-1. Rosita temp shields, though. It's soaking up all his damage, bounces him back to full health. Good defense by Rosita, but the map selection was great by Method Orange. Look at how much Whoopi is forced to stack up. They can dot him, they can attack 3 targets, and really pressure that mana bar, the one real weakness of Mistweaver.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Trill is not playing the Mana Rift Tower.
Oh, here comes!
Another big setup on Sea-Doo. No Trinket. Darkness comes in from Trill. Gets
knocked
out of it. Gets stunned again. They're looking to close out game number 2. Sea-Doo low. Earthen Shield Totem gets dropped down. That should be enough to keep him alive. But what a scary moment.
Like I said, it was like a freak meteor, you said, but it's repeatable. If it's repeatable, then it's winnable. If they can hang on here and somehow take out not only the Gosu Crew, but Method Orange with this peculiar Mage Mistweaver. We were sort of second-guessing at the desk, like, yeah, it's a good attempt, but I thought that it had the potential, the surprise factor. If Whoopi can carry hardcore here in this series, they might be able to completely change that bracket at BlizzCon.
Yeah, Trill looking for some cleave damage once again. Whoopi kind of falling behind in the situation. Trying to heal up Omnivore, but he gets caught into a Cyclone. Nicely done by Shaman. Whoopi already down to around 35% in mana. Sea-Doo way ahead. They just need to survive these swaps. And now, he has the Trinket, he has the Link. Rosita Jones getting low. Nice burst damage coming in from Method Orange. Rosita Jones connects a huge heal. Tries to go for a Meteor, but doesn't really accomplish too much.
Way of the Crane activated, but Rosita is still just taking immense damage. Cyclone on Whoopi. Oh, that temp shield. It should be enough with that Life Cocoon obviously protecting him, but they overlapped a lot of cooldowns there. That was the intimidating shout. They don't get any aggressive value out of it, and it was overlapped defensively with Life Cocoon. So For Fun, they're being stripped of their mana, they're being stripped of their defense, and as long as Method Orange keep their composure and don't fall for the surprise attacks of For Fun, this game is looking more and more so one-sided.
Yeah, a lot of damage onto For Fun again as they run away, trying to bait the members of Method Orange. Triple Chaos Nova coming in. Whoopi gets swapped to. A lot of pressure on him. Cap stun out of that. Sea-Doo doing a great job. Ooh. Oh, nice Cyclone from Shaman. Whoopi, if they can get any damage out of this, any sort of stun. Rosita Jones looking for some counter pressure. Whoopi barely survives for now. So going to close out the game. The Ring of Peace. He gets stunned. Trill's there. Looking to interrupt.
Trill is low.
Whoopi gets away. Trill's low as well. Sea-Doo connects the heal. Whoopi under fire. Can't survive. And Method Orange strikes back.
What a fantastic game, though, on both sides. Method Orange finally manages to tell this is not the talent choice that we typically see. This could be very interesting.
Just look at the way the meta evolves and changes when new competition rises to the top. Whoopi's Mistweaver has now challenged Method Orange to find different options, and suddenly we might be saying that Mage Demon Hunter is the best composition in the game. That Fel Barrage is a lot of multi-target damage paired with the Frigid Grasp of the Frost Mages. An interesting pickup by Trill, but Shaman is the one who's on the back foot initially. Already, Blessing of Sacrifice forced, as well as Avenging Crusader. This is a devastating start for Method Orange.
Yeah, Shaman pulls the trigger. A lot of damage on Whoopi. Sea-Doo has to hold on to his bubble, gets behind the pillar, tosses out the Holy Light. Everyone from For Fun is rotting down from this initial assault from Method Orange. Sea-Doo stabilizes his team. Whoopi now into the full polymorph. Trill looking to get aggressive on Rosita Jones.
Yeah, but with no crowd control on Rosita, he can break up the chain. Grounding Totem denies the polymorph. Now Whoopi is free to heal, and I think the Paladin pick is going to end up being exploited by Whoopi's shift over to Shaman, unless he's just inexperienced on it. That's really all Method Orange can really play around. I think we're going to see Sea-Doo switch to Shaman. He can get the mana tied up. Paladin has a lesser mana advantage. Just look at the pressure right now. Sam.I.M is never topped off. Sea-Doo is constantly trading cooldowns just to stay ahead of the damage curve. Sam.I.M storm bolted up. That's going to be a blessing of protection, and that can be double purge. That's removed almost immediately. The Paladin cannot be a good pick into double Shaman. It's looking very one-sided for fun.
Yeah, Sea-Doo should have been on that Resto Druid, I believe. Whoopi getting stunned up, though, as they make a swap on him. This is Ice Form from Sam.I.M, putting out some good pressure. Drill gets feared up, though. Sea-Doo and Sam.I.M going to be kiting away once again. And like Zico kind of mentioned early on, like, we do not want to see polymorphs onto Whoopi. Everyone should be rotted down. Everyone should be an option for Trill to go on, try to get as much pressure as possible in this matchup, because I think if Method Orange plays it right, they should have a mana lead. That's going to be the first ice block from Sam.I.M, and that's why Paladin's so scary. It's so hard to top off Sam.I.M through this damage.
Nice Hex on Sea-Doo during the ice block. Sam.I.M has to cancel ice block to decurse, and that forced Sea-Doo to use a Hand of Sacrifice as well as an ice block. That's a 2-for-1 cooldown exchange for fun. Now with a significant lead, they're showing that they not only bring surprise, but also diversity in the finals. And they're not even going to BlizzCon. Can you imagine Rosita at BlizzCon? He's already causing so much havoc in the last cup, and he could affect the entire bracket if they're able to win this series against Method Orange.
Yeah, Sea-Doo using his Avenging Wrath, trying to top off his team. There's a stun on Whoopi. They look to get aggressive on Omnivore and Rosita Jones. Doesn't look like there's any stun just yet, but huge AoE damage coming in from Trill and Sam.I.M. The Ice Form, the Fell Barrage, good talent choices for Method Orange, but Whoopi so far manages to stabilize and actually has a mana lead over Sea-Doo.
Yeah, the Avenging Crusader's pretty expensive, and he's constantly has to keep healing Sam.I.M. It's not an easy job for Sea-Doo, and this Paladin is going to be a struggle, I think, for the rest of this game. Trill and Sam.I.M all retreating away. No one can stand close to the Rosita Omni Blender. If they get even in Millering for a second, they get chopped up as For Fun keep pushing forward. Battle stance. Omnivore's ready to go. Tons of damage. Sea-Doo is in trouble trying to stabilize Sam.I.M. He's just doing so much. If Rosita even gets close, this could be the end. Sam.I.M blinks, kiting. They get another Blessing of Sacrifice from Sea-Doo. They interrupt him on the back of it, applying even more pressure forward, and For Fun are in a dominant position.
Yeah, the Paladin really doesn't offer that much utility. The Blessing of Freedoms get dispelled instantly by Rosita Jones. Sam.I.M forced into the second ice block. Method Orange looking to get aggressive, though. Sam.I.M leaves the ice block with a Hex on Sea-Doo. He gets wind sheared. Sam.I.M could be in a lot of trouble. He's trying to kite away, trying to save his life. In the meantime, though, Rosita Jones getting bursted down with a nice counterspell onto Whoopi, but For Fun stabilizes, and Method Orange, they are running on fumes.
I mean, Omnivore is just destroying both Sea-Doo and Sam.I.M right now. It's looking so dire for Method Orange moving in the swing match, and eventually they're going to have to win a swing match. I think we'll likely see Sea-Doo change healers, but they would want to just win it here, but I don't see any openings. Mana's tied at least, if we want to look at the best case scenario for Method Orange. Darkness is traded out by Trill. That was really one of the last lines of defense for Method Orange. No longer available. I almost want to see Omnivore just go in battle stance and stay there for the rest of this game. They could just end it. For Fun in a dominant position. Whoopi needs to maybe look for a drink, though. He's been not playing the most efficiently with his mana. Sea-Doo sneaking up on him. He wants to try and get a Hammer of Justice. They're trying to time it with a double stun. Patiently waiting. Stormbolt Sam.I.M. He trinkets. There's the triple stun initiation by Method Orange. They set up for this. Whoopi needs to carry. Omnivore actually decides to trinket and save the day. He is going to allow Rosita to slowly but surely stabilize. Method Orange showing signs of life.
Yeah, Method Orange looks like they've sort of found their groove and their win condition. Sam.I.M not messing around anymore, just making sure he's kiting the best he can with Frost Nova, with Cone of Cold. Now caught in midfield. Moving over to Whoopi. I do not like this positioning from Method Orange. Sea-Doo needed to run away with Sam.I.M, and now as a result, it might cost Sam.I.M his life. Ultimate Sacrifice will come in from Sea-Doo, save him just a little bit longer, but that was a big positional error from Method Orange.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, what else does Sea-Doo have cooldown-wise to save Sam.I.M? If For Fun get any uptime, that is going to be it. Lights out for Sam.I.M. Omnivore is on target. Rosita's making his way over. One more Wind Shear or Hex could close this out. They land the Capacitor Totem. They need a wind shear off the back of this, but they go for the triple stun here. Method Orange have to swing back in one big hit. Rosita read the situation and activated Astral Shift before it. Now Sam I Am is ultimately going to fall. Force Fun showing that they not only bring in the Mistweaver, they can bring in the Shaman.
Be able to keep this train rolling, or is Method Orange going to be able to tie it up and take him to Trillville?
Ladies and gentlemen, Rosita Jones is the Dream Eater. He is the Dynasty Destroyer. He comes out of nowhere in the fall season, dismantling North America. And will he be able to do it to the coveted Method Orange? They're in the lead in the grand finals. Blizzcon can be affected by the result of this series. You do not want to go anywhere as Rosita takes a huge hit early on.
Yeah, this is what you expect from Method Orange when they are running this composition. Everyone run and hide. Try to save your life as everyone from For Fun groups up behind the pillar. Whoa! Trill gets swamped too! He trinkets, has to use Metamorphosis to keep himself alive. That was desperation mode from Trill. Uses everything to live. Nice swap from For Fun.
I was thinking For Fun, they're pinned behind the pillar. They're taking a lot of pressure. They're going to be losing this game. And then suddenly there's like, yeah, target Trill? Okay, he's dead. I mean, if they do that a couple more times, Trill's not going to be able to be as aggressive as he would like to be. Whoopie Cyclone by Sam I Am. Good setup. 2 targets at low health. Grounding Totem gets sniped instantly. Omnivore's in trouble. Whoopie trinkets into a Solar Beam. A bit of a mistake there. The double stun secured. Star Surge is coming in, and Method Orange, they've got this composition nailed down. They've got huge pressure, great chains, tons of damage, and really putting it to For Fun.
Yeah, Omnivore barely hanging on. Ascendant's going to be used by Whoopie, and you can just see how much synergy Method Orange has as they look to close out this game. Earthen Shield Totem should be enough to stall it out a little longer. I believe Omnivore and Rosita Jones should get topped off here, but that was such a masterful setup coming in from Method Orange.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, both teams starting to stabilize. Clutch Clone here at low health. Whoopi's got to deal with that and not get crowd controlled off the back of it. He has to avoid it. He gets stunned, though. Sam I Am's moving in position to chain. They can't get the chain. Whoopie connects some heals. For Fun should start to stabilize. They catch Trill in a Stormbolt. He pre-blurred, expecting to be the target when he overextended. He activated the defensive before moving out of Sea-Doo's line of sight. Nice preemptive move by Trill. He avoids a lot of damage as a result of that. Still needs to be careful. No Gladiator's Medallion for 26 seconds. He won't be able to get out of those Storm Bolts if he gets caught off guard. Triple crowd control. Method Orange initiation here as they target down Rosita. He's on the run, trying to break up the chains. They go for Fell Eruption. They try to go for the clone. They don't get it. They go for Imprison. The chain is continuing. Rosita still in a 3-on-2. No Cyclone gets pummeled. Good teamwork by Omnivore, pausing out that chain just long enough for Whoopie to stabilize.
Rosita Jones could be in some trouble still. Earthen Shield Totem's going to fade here shortly. Nice offensive Cyclone coming in from Sam I Am, slowing down these heals, allowing Trill to get his crowd control off cooldown a little bit more. Method Orange retreats, though. You can see Trill backflipping away, trying to get back to Sea-Doo. Mana greatly in favor of Whoopie. He's almost 100% mana. Sea-Doo is burned through, getting very aggressive in those setups.
If For Fun can beat Method Orange's best composition on this alternate pick, what is Method Orange going to do for the rest of the series? It's looking more like For Fun might be able to pull this off. They've got a big opening to kill Omnivore. No Gladiator's Medallion, no Die by the Sword. They initiate. There's that cross crowd control. Rosita, he uses his Gladiator's Medallion. He needs to break up the chain on Whoopie, deny these Cyclones. He grounding totems it, but they follow up with Fell Eruption. Omnivore breaks the chain with Pummel, but Trill keeps it going within prison. Sam I Am needs to get a clone, but he's under too much pressure. He can't do it. Sea-Doo tries to jump in and save the day. Earthen Wall Totem stabilizes. He pre-tremors the intimidating shout. Perfect play by Sea-Doo. Man, both these teams are playing at next levels of skill.
Yeah, Hex on to Sea-Doo. Sam I Am trinkets out to decurse him. Omnivore and Rosita Jones still in a little bit of trouble here. Sea-Doo position far away right now. Might want to look for a drink at some point if he can stabilize his team. As we said, he's very far behind on mana, but I think if he just pulls back a little bit, doesn't offensively purge as much, he should be able to stay in the game for quite some time.
Sam I Am's just pinned down in bear form. He can't get any counter pressure, and slowly but surely is going to die at this rate if he can't make something happen. He's waiting for Solar Beam. That's available. They need to execute. They can kill Rosita. There they go. They need to kill him in a 2-second window. Do they have damage to do it? Rosita denies the kill. Astral Shift should make him tanky enough to survive, but they need to break the chain. That's the only other thing that could cost their life. Omnivore with perfect pummels, breaks the chain. They need another interrupt. Sam can't go for the clone. They got him pinned down. He's trying to sneak it in on Whoopi. Whoopi needs to line of sight it. Earthen Wall Totem stabilizes Omnivore. Sam dashes out of it. Good awareness there. Trill as well. Going to be following suit. But Mana's not looking too good for Method Orange. I thought their openers were devastating, but For Fun have restabilized, and they're looking confident here in Game 4.
Yeah, they push on Sam stunned on the CD right now. Like you said, Sam he's been pinned into bear form for a long time, hopping into the Boomkin form, looking to get some damage rolling. The CC chains from Method Orange are quite devastating. They get the Root Beam into the Fell Eruption, into the Imprisonment. If Sam can get a Cyclone out of that, they can close out the game, but For Fun, they've been doing a good job, like you said, breaking up the chain, not allowing Method Orange to get that win condition.
It's been intense throughout this, and Dampening just started. Things only get more chaotic. Triple control by Method Orange as they gun down for Rosita's head. They need to continue the chain. There's the Fell Eruption. They need the clone. Sam needs to land a Cyclone. He needs to get through a lot of interrupts and also survive. Will he be able to get the Cyclone? No. The chain gets dropped. Sam is just under so much pressure in this game. Omnivore heroic leaps over for an intimidating shout. Sidu pre-tremors. Omnivore doesn't fall for the bait. He kills the tremor. Sidu has to trinket as Sam is falling further and further behind.
Method Orange made a very difficult decision there. Trill traded out his darkness so Sidu could drink a little bit. It may backfire on them. Sam still low. Sidu finding some heals, immediately getting decursed. Nice hex from Whoopi. Rosita Jones, though, in the Cyclone. Switches on to Whoopi. Rosita Jones has to stay alive. Earthen Shield Totem dropped out for Sidu right now, allowing his team to play very aggressive onto For Fun. Rosita Jones getting some heals from Whoopi, who's in a good position, looking for the healing surges, finds it. Rosita Jones stabilized. Now they want to get aggressive on Sam
Omnivore's got Warbreaker, but his team's crowd control. They need to focus on surviving. What the? That was so much damage out of nowhere. For Fun had so much momentum, but Sam says, what's up? Start for this series. Ultimate play all day. EU impressed me. Now NA is doing the same. This is Method Orange's opportunity. The Blizzcon bracket could be completely shifted if For Fun managed to take over Method Orange. You want to stay tuned.
Yep, For Fun. This is their composition and map pick here. Whoopi into the full Root Solar Beam once again. Rosita Jones, he's really respecting this damage. Uses the Astral Shift immediately as they make a swap on Whoopi. He has to trinket out. Astral Shift as well. Method Orange all over the map.
I think it's a smart move on Hook Point. It's a small map. You can really switch to the healers quite easily. I'm hoping that Rosita and Omnivore decide to do that. If they stack up behind this box, it could be absolute devastation. Trill's a little bit reluctant to push in, though. He's been storm bolted quite a few times and bursted. He does not want to go around that corner anytime soon.
Yeah, he doesn't want a repeat of what happened on Ashermane's fall. It's a very scary moment for him. Playing it patient, playing it smart. They were able to get the trinket from Whoopi and the Astral Shift. Rosita Jones doesn't have his major defensive as well. And a little bit of damage on Sam but I think if Method Orange, they set this up right, they could easily take down Rosita Jones here.
All right, Sam in position, looking for Cyclones, trying to fake cast interrupts before that crowd control chain. And this is what you want to do as the Balance Druid, is work through the interrupts about 10 seconds before your chain is initiated, so you don't have to deal with them during the chain. We see perfect setup here by Method Orange. They need to get Cyclones. They fake cast the Winter, but you can't fake cast Omni. Every time those pummels perfectly placed, breaking up the chain and allowing Whoopi to recover. Trill trying to salvage this with Imprison, but Sam is not in position to continue the chain. It's been diffused entirely as both teams stabilize in their Earthen Wall Totems. I think in Dampening, which obviously with the skill level of these teams we're likely to reach, I think it's just going to dive into complete chaos where just everybody is a kill target like we saw with Gosu Crew against Method Orange.
Yeah, it could definitely happen. There's no question about it. Sam getting bursted down as he gets interrupted. And what's difficult for Method Orange, like we kind of talked about, Sam he needs to land those Cyclones to extend the CC chain on Whoopi. But it's hard. Omnivore has Pummel, Rosita Jones has Wind Shear, he has Grounding Totem. They have lots of tools to help assist Whoopi get out of that CC and keep Rosita in the fight.
Nice Wind Shear. Sam on the back foot. Nice Solar Beam, though, by Method Orange as they dump out tons of damage, forcing a mistake by For Fun. Double Gladiator's Medallion. Now, neither Omnivore or Rosita will have that option when the next crowd control ensues, and they get Whoopies off the back of that Cyclone, and they might just win. Perfect chain by Method Orange. They bank everything in their favor. For Fun they need to be scared. This is the swing match, I believe. So if Method Orange managed to win this, they will swing the advantage for Game 7.
That was a 5-for-1 big sale Method Orange was able to take advantage of. Samayam has his Incarnation coming up in 22 seconds as well. That is going to be very devastating for fun. No one has a trinket. No one has a defensive. Trill moving in. Method Orange, they know they can close this out. If they can just time their cooldowns correctly, get the right CC chains, it is over.
The Omnivore's trying to not stack up by going behind the other fenced wall. Trill needs to be careful about overextending, but Method Orange have triple Gladiators medallion. They can make risky plays and end the game right here. Samayam has a ton of damage available. He just needs to be ready to toss it out. They managed to bait Earthen Wall Totem before it. There's really nothing to keep Rosita alive. Method Orange have this set up to win. I'm not sure how For Fun are going to decide to defuse the situation. It seems like Omnivore is trying to play intercept center field. He needs to break it up with a perfect Stormbolt. Trill jumps in. He's getting ready to get cheeky. Samayam gets Stormbolted away by Omnivore. Omnivore's trying to stall out this push as long as possible, but Samayam's moving in. There's the Solar Beam. Here comes the triple. Trill doesn't land the triple. He misses it on Omnivore. Maybe Omnivore can keep his team in the fight, but no, Cedar moves in with a triple. They keep it going. They need a Cyclone. They don't get it. For Fun managed to stay alive.
Yeah, good defensive play from For Fun, and now maybe Method Orange is overextended. See, that's capped on his trinket! Samayam barely surviving there. Uses the Barkskin and the Thorns. Darkness from Trill. Massive overlap from Method Orange, and now it's For Fun taking advantage of that big sale.
Now it's a power play in favor of For Fun at that point. Method Orange need to be careful. They can't afford to overextend. They've got no options to survive with no Gladiators medallions. They can't activate defensive cooldowns to survive a huge hit. For Fun can now push out and get aggressive, and on hook point, where are you gonna run? There isn't anywhere to run. I was surprised that For Fun managed to stay alive behind the wall. Sea-Doo's managed to reposition back at the pillar. They cannot afford to stack up. If they can get maybe a Stormbolt Hex, Method Orange try and reinitiate. Solar Beam. Samayam needs Cyclones. Needs the Cyclones, doesn't get them. Rosita, though, trades. It trades equally with Trill's cooldowns at least. But now he's going to be vulnerable moving forward. It's still anyone's match. Big hit. Sea-Doo counteracts. Rosita still on the back foot. Dampening has just started.
Yeah, what a back and forth game this has been. This is absolutely insane. Best of 7, grand finals, North American Cup #3, the final tournament before opening week and BlizzCon. And For Fun, they're looking to upset Method Orange. Method Orange, they have to win this if they want that #1 seed. What an insane game.
Woofy's got the mana disadvantage, so Method Orange have the crowd control burst and the sustained cleave and dampening and the mana advantage. I think it's looking good for Method Orange if they can hang on another 27 seconds. At that point, I want to see them just gun Whoopy down, just ensue chaos, go after everybody, and really maximize your damage potential on that Balanced Druid Demon Hunter combination. I think that's their best route to victory. There's the double stun. Good initiation by Method Orange. No cooldowns overlapped here by For Fun as they start to stabilize. They're trying to break up the chain. Cyclone is critical. They need to deny it. Samayam goes for it. He gets one on Omnivore. Not in position to change it over, and now they should start to stabilize. Trill jumps in. This is exactly what I want to see Trill start doing, is just jump in, attack multiple targets, and cleave For Fun to pieces.
Trill, he's actually playing Mana Rift, and he hasn't really been landing too many in this game. I think that's a strategy Method Orange could start implementing more consistently. Land the Mana Rifts on Whoopy over and over, and Method Orange will ultimately have a mana lead. Samayam getting attacked midfield once again, activates the Thorns. Rosita Jones on the board. They need to think twice about attacking Samayam. Everyone's rotting down from For Fun. Whoopy caught into the stun once again. Trill looking to do some damage, looking to bring some mana with that Mana Rift. Manages to find it. Trill doesn't want to overextend. He has Trinket and Blur, but still doesn't want to have to trade those out at this point in the game.
I mean, I think at some point they need to start attacking and pushing forward. Sea-Doo just keeps trying to drink and get the long game advantage. This is a playing to live strategy, but eventually Method Orange need to start playing to win, and Trill needs his team to back him up because he's eventually going to have to line of sight to attack them. So they need to get in a position to support Trill and allow him to be aggressive and just tear him to pieces. Dampening's ramping up. Method Orange have secured a clean advantage so far in this game, mana-wise. It's an even game on cooldowns, but unless Whoopy can get a drink, it's not looking too good for their team. Sea-Doo's pushing forward, Trill pushes up, double intimidating shout on Samayam's Incarnation. This could be the time for Samayam to strike. Star Surger's coming in, might be good night. Rosita ducks around the corner, Trill pushes in. Rosita's trying to counter pressure him away. Trill is reluctant to chase. I really think he needs to start chasing, though, if he wants to close this match. They stun Whoopie. They still got Omnivore low. Method Orange have secured a significant advantage.
Void Eruption used once again. Rosita Jones still low. This could be the Spirit Link totem by Whoopie. Doesn't want to be too greedy. Does pop the Ascendance to a power his healing, but he gets interrupted. And now Rosita Jones still in a lot of trouble. Omnivore jumps back, trying to play some defense, trying to knock Trill away, but Trill's all over for fun. Earthen Shield Totem deflects the kill from now, but Rosita Jones still in a lot of trouble.
I mean, Trill is going to be the kill target when they overextend, and Method Orange need to protect Trill and get him aggressive because they can close this out at any second if they play aggressive just a little bit. Rosita under fire, Whoopie with not much left to work with. Sharpen Blade up by Omni. He's trying to get something going on Samayam, but there's no backup. Rosita's forced to run away, and on hook point, you can't run very far. Method Orange are closing forward. Nice crowd control chain as Method Orange look to close. Trill is still an exposed target. He preemptively blurs, but that's now faded. He's caught in the storm. Whoa! He's caught in the storm. Whoa! He's hanging on by a thread. Cedar drops the Spirit Link. They kill it off. They kill it before Trill could get inside. A zero-value Spirit Link, and For Fun are staying in this fight.
Trill's very vulnerable with no trinket. He still has the darkness, but if he gets caught in a stun, there is nothing to save him. Hops in Metamorphosis, looking to get some damage rolling on Rosita Jones and Omnivore. 25% damaging. Whoopie almost completely tapped on mana. Trill has to be so careful, though. Blur coming up in around 8 seconds. That's a moment where Method Orange can push in if they want.
I mean, at this point, they don't have Spirit Link Totem. They've got Darkness, but they don't have Trinket, and you need Gladiator's Medallion to activate Darkness. Trill could easily just disappear from the arena in a Stormbolt, and Method Orange, they're scared. Even though they've got a huge lead and so much pressure, they're scared. Trill's taking tons of damage. What's Cedar gonna do? They trade Darkness and Blur. Now they're overlapping defensive cooldowns. This is panic for Method Orange. Even though they had such a huge lead, they are panicking and throwing away that lead quite quickly. They need to close it soon. Omnivore on low health, trade side by the sword, hanging on by a thread, but Method Orange are looking to end this.
The Spirit Link Totem gets traded out. That's the last thing Whoopie has to keep his team alive. But Trill, so much trouble still. No Blur, no Darkness, no Trinket, no nothing. Samayam has to play catch-up. Cedar drops the Earthen Shield Totem. Once that fades, Trill is absolutely so vulnerable. Omnivore gets the Stormbolt. They're looking to take down Trill right here, right now. He gets out of the spot, leaps away. Now they're going to be able to and For Fun, they do it. They're up in this series 3-2.
You see that I-beam go out and you're like, Soul Rending? Is it going to heal him? But not, Sid.
And this would be a fitting final resting place, as it is a cemetery. For Fun look to carve Method Orange's name into the tombstones of Runes of Lordaeron. They've already sent Super Frogs to the grave. They've already sent Kaska's Angels to the grave. They already sent the Gosu Crew to the grave. Method Orange is the last team on the list.
Yeah, Method Orange wants to get aggressive. There's the Root Beam. Start of the CC chain onto Whoopie, looking for the Cyclone. Trill should be able to follow it up with the Fell Eruption. Now in Imprisonment, they actually make a swap to Whoopie into the Imprisonment. That was very nicely done. They get the Astral Shift, then he's imprisoned. Samayam looking for the Cyclone, manages to land it. This is the CC chains we want to see from Method Orange if they want to win this series.
Whoopie snuck in an Earthen Wall Totem between that chain and allows Rosita to tank it out and be just fine. Now Samayam's Incarnation is fading shortly. They need to hang on a couple more seconds. So Metamorphosis and Incarn. Method Orange tried to do an all-in burst opener, and Whoopie didn't overreact. He didn't panic. I think there was fair trades on his part. Now that those big threat cooldowns are out of the way, For Fun can get aggressive, and on Runes of Lordaeron, it's a good healer killer map. Method Orange are exploiting that much better, I think, than For Fun, and it may be the case that For Fun are just nervous, but I think attacking Cedu at some points in this game could be worthwhile. Windshear, they're actually just going after Trill. They want to play the safe game, but they get clotheslined. Whoopie trinkets to try and save the day, breaking up the chain. Samayam denies the heals with a well-placed Cyclone. If they can switch any crowd control on Whoopie, Rosita could be in trouble.
Yeah, another Cyclone on Rosita. Trill has his imprisonment, which he does. Rosita Jones could fall. He's trying to kite away, heal himself up. Whoopie gets out of the Cyclone for a second. The Cyclone's going to be used by Samayam. The Earth Shield connects to Rosita Jones, and the Enhancement Shamans have very powerful off-heals. Rosita Jones stabilizes. Method Orange realizes it, makes a swap onto Whoopie. He has no Trinket, no Astral Shift. Why not put some damage on him?
Yeah, and on Method Orange, I feel like their strategy right now is much better than For Fun. For Fun are going after the strategy that won, but now it's predictable, attacking Trill. And also, this map was perfectly picked by Method Orange. There's not a lot of places that Trill can line of sight. so he doesn't have to worry about going around a corner and getting stunned. Method Orange definitely thought this through quite effectively, and they are much more practiced on this composition. I think it's likely we're going to a game number 7. Omnivore is the most exposed target in this situation with no Gladiator's Medallion to activate Die by the Sword. He needs to be careful. The next Solar Beam is available. There's the Solar Beam, there's the stun. They should be going after Omnivore, but they're going after Rosita. They managed to pull Astral Shift. I guess they would have got Die by the Sword at the end of that chain regardless. They do manage to chain the Cyclone off. There was no pummel there. Now they've got Imprisoned. This chain is quite long. Rosita's in trouble. He's attacking into Thorns as well. Nice timing by Samayam. That's going to cost Whoopi potentially a lot of mana to recover.
Yeah, Whoopi has the Earthen Shield Totem available if he needs it, but looks like he's not going to be trading it out just yet. Rosita Jones gets topped off. He has a trinket to run away during the next CC chain as well. Omnivore rotting down just a little bit. Sea-Doo caught into the full fear. Is there a stun on Trill? Yes, there is. There's the Stormbolt. Rosita Jones and Omnivore looking to get aggressive. Samayam shuts that down immediately with a nice Cyclone on Omnivore.
Yeah, Method Orange playing really good defense. There's not any openings right now for fun to exploit. Trill actually playing Rain from Above this game, an honor talent for Demon Hunters where you can just, well, I mean, you see it. He flies up in the air and he can't be attacked by Warriors because Warriors can only hit things in melee range. So it's a nice adaptation by Trill, realizing that he was really the most vulnerable target. So he has that escape mechanism now. Whoopi getting targeted and swapped, taking a lot of pressure, trades out that Astral Shift, trades pretty effectively with Samayam's cooldowns. They switch targets, imprison Whoopi. Nice adaptation here by Method Orange.
You only get 3 honor talents though, so Trill picking that Rain from Above, much more defensive, but I think he's going to be losing out on that mana rift, so not going to be able to burn down Whoopi's mana quite as often, and because of that, Whoopi is actually head on mana from Sea-Doo. Omnivore getting swapped to. Root Beam on Whoopi once again. This is his Ascendance he's getting CC'd on. Cyclone on Whoopi. He has to trinket out. He gets caught into the Fell Stun. If there's an imprisonment, Omnivore could be in a lot of trouble. Beautiful Cyclones this game coming in from Salmon, just controlling everyone from For Fun.
Yeah, and that was a panic from For Fun. They overlapped Whoopi's Gladiator Medallion and Die by the Sword on Omnivore. So Method Orange, they're not leaving any openings in their defense, but their offense is also on point as well. And For Fun are starting to crack here in Game 6, ladies and gentlemen. The last tournament before BlizzCon, For Fun looked to disrupt the bracket, which we will be revealing to you at the end of this series. So if you want to see how it's going to play out at BlizzCon, you need to stay tuned. If you also want Method Orange to stay in it, Sea-Doo needs your energy.
Yeah, he absolutely does. Whoopi still ahead on mana. It's a clear win condition for Fun. Stormbolt on Trill once again. He's in a little bit of trouble. He has a trinket. No blur, though. He actually pre-blurred that Stormbolt. Nicely done by Trill. That's going to be preventing the damage during the stun, saving him other cooldowns. Root Beam coming in from Whoopi. Actually lands it on Rosita Jones as well. Omnivore running away, trying to stay alive a little bit longer. Nice Cyclone from Samayam. He gets wind sheared by Rosita Jones. Omnivore still getting bursted down. See you throwing in some lava bursts with Sky Fury Totem.
That rallying cry is going to fall. Perfect chain. Method Orange, Game 7.
Oh, why can't my mage do that? Joking around. Like, these guys looked incredible on their mains, and now we have a chance to see everyone on their mains so far in BFA. Main composition against main composition. This is the last game of the day. It determines our BlizzCon bracket, which we will see after this game, and it will determine the champion of the final NA Cup. Who's going to take it? For Fun or Method Orange?
For Fun, counter-engage, Meteor connects, lots of damage! Spirit Link trinket, cooldowns blown on every front. This is devastation for Method Orange. Rosita Jones comes out guns blazing with huge damage at the start of this fight.
Yeah, Method Orange looking to turn around the pressure on Omnivore. He's gone, though. He's across. He's outside. But Whoopi, he's way overextended. Has to trinket out, poured away to safety. Trill looking to charge in. Oh, doesn't want to push in too far, though. Samayam and Sea-Doo, they used everything in that opener. They're going to be sitting back, playing very comfortable. They do not want to overextend.
But Rosita is just farming fireballs. He's lowering the cooldown of combustion. The more fireballs he gets, let's see if he can get that combustion and catch Sea-Doo off guard. If you're Method Orange, you're shaking in your boots right now from the start of that game. Sea-Doo's ducking for cover. Trill's hiding in the room. They've got them pinned down. Rosita drops a meteor on Samayam. He was in bear form right before that stun, soaking up that hit. Nice play by Method Orange. Okay, they need to just take it easy. We're in Game 7. Solar Beam on Whoopi, that Gnome Racial, super effective, but he locked him out. That was nicely played by Samayam. Good crowd control. Omnivore Cyclone at low health. Method Orange starting to scrape this back together.
And the neat crowd control onto Whoopi, though. Trill might want to push in, get the imprisonment, but doesn't want to overstay his welcome in terms of offense. Omnivore is going to get topped off easily. Method Orange, they're looking to just play this room. Nice Ripple Fear from Omnivore. Set up on Samayam once again. Rosita Jones charges in with his Combust. Double leg sweep comes in. Samayam uses the Bark Skin, has the renewal. Should be able to survive the setup.
I think that attempt should have possibly been on Trill and not Samayam. We saw Trill get erased in the first game of this series. That seems like a century ago now that we're at game 7. Whoopi getting swapped to, trying to punish him on overextending. He trades out Life Cocoon. He overlaps. He panics. For Fun are showing signs of weakness here. Gladiator's medallions are becoming slowly available for Method Orange. They're securing a lead now. Despite that early start, Method Orange are looking better and better.
Yeah, Method Orange, their positioning, it just makes it so difficult for Fun to actually push in. Imprisonment on Whoopi. Omnivore still in the middle of the map, taking quite a bit of damage, but he's going to be very tanky. He's using the Zalzek's Veiled Eye. Additional, basically, defense for Omnivore. Going to be losing out on a little bit of offense, but I think it's worth it as he is basically the bodyguard for the rest of his team.
Whoopi's moving in. He's got Way of the Crane. He's ready to go. Paralysis, I would love to see, but Whoopi actually gets swapped too. He's overextended. He wanted to get aggressive. He wanted to get cheeky, but that's a big punish by Method Orange.
Whoopi barely escapes with his life, and now he has not a single defensive left. Trill looking to get aggressive on Rosita Jones, on Omnivore. There's a root, or there's just a Solar Beam onto Whoopi right there, denying some of his incoming heals. Rosita Jones retreats to the safety of his Mistweaver Monk. Will ultimately get topped off, but with like I said, the way Method Orange is playing this, it's very difficult for Fun to push in. They consistently put the pressure on Whoopi. He has no trinket. It's going to be horrifying for him if he overextends again.
Triple intimidating shout. Whoopi's moving in. He's looking to try and close. Sea-Doo trinkets and respects. He Spirit Links right between the stun lock, connecting his team's health, but For Fun are charging forward. Sea-Doo needs more healing to back this up. He gets caught into Polymorph. Whoopi gets swapped to. He drops a Ring of Peace to try and protect himself, but he doesn't manage to make it out. Samayam snipes him. Method Orange take it. They are the top dogs of North America.
And For Fun really is the team.
You can even see here on the bracket, look what For Fun is able to do. First, the first order of business for them is to knock down Kaska's Angels down to the lower bracket. Then they get knocked down themselves to that lower bracket.
And like we mentioned, there are two teams that really do have the strongest hold, the strongest grip on the field of competition. And those are going to be the teams that have buys as well, Venruki. And as someone who's played up on the BlizzCon stage, how huge can this buy be?
Well, it's absolutely incredibly huge. I mean, you get a free win in the first round. You can see Method Black and Method Orange. They're going to be on opposite sides of the bracket, but I don't know which side I'd rather be in, to be quite honest. These teams are just absolutely insane this year.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I'm literally filling out my bracket right now, like kind of predicting what I think